Mortal Kombat 11. This is a game that I have so many mixed thoughts on. Probably more than any game. It's probably one of my most played games of all time. It's one of the games I own multiple times as well. I have it on Xbox One. I have a Nintendo Switch. I didn't buy it for Nintendo Switch, my girlfriend got me. But still, ew, two copies of Mortal Kombat 11. That, that doesn't seem right. If you know me, I'm very critical of modern Mortal Kombat, like the NRS stuff. Even though that's what got me into the franchise when I went back to particularly the 3D era, the arcade era, not so much for me, but the 3D era, that is the peak of Mortal Kombat as far as I'm concerned. And of the modern era, none of these really clicked to me, now I understand them, except this one, Mortal Kombat 11. So I'm just going to talk about everything with this game. I'm going to go over all the modes, I suppose, various things in the game. We're just going to cover all of it. Just a full retrospective, I guess. Not necessarily particularly scripted, although I do have bullet points for what I'm covering in this video. So yeah, just enjoy. I'll start off saying this is a game that I pre-ordered. It's the second game I ever pre-ordered. It was the last game I ever pre-ordered. That's not the fault of the game. And I've always said this. I have very fond memories of the launch of this game. This was a really awesome launch. I do think. I think the marketing for Mortal Kombat, it is some of the best I've seen for any game. Because never want to go at this. I can't remember 9 or X, but with 11, they announced it within like months before the actual release. They did the same for Mortal Kombat 12. And that's cool because you have time to get hyped, but it's not a very long wait. So in between the announcement and the game's release, you get constant updates and actual important updates. It was like weekly. They had like a gameplay reveal event. They did a big like Baraka's back reveal, which is always crazy because Baraka misses a game and everyone's like, dude, we fucking love Baraka, bring him back. Just look at Deception. He's basically the mascot of Deception, so he was the first character they revealed outside of like Scorpion range. Sub-Zero. He's probably revealed before Sub-Zero now that I think about it, because I know the first match we got was like Scorpion Baraka. You know, I remember these things, right? Because I was very much into it. And, you know, looking back, I still think it was good. I don't think it was me being a casual and being like, oh, this is cool. Like no, this was a genuinely good reveal. It showed several characters, including a new character, Garrus, who had blue blood at the time. They should not have changed that. That is very cool. They did the announcement of like, oh, Sonya's voiced by Ronda, which bad decision. I don't think that's a hot take. And not as bad as Megan Fox and Natara, especially when Natara is a huge returning character, not a mainstay. So Natara's return, her reveal trailer, it was like the second to last trailer they did. Right, and the title starts with Megan Fox, not Natara. The focus is on Megan Fox, a terrible actress. And she's like dressed like the fucking Queen of England, and she is rambling in that video. Sonya Blade, you know, Ronda, like at least she has like a fucking a comprehensible story. I mean, a bullshit one, no doubt, but yeah. Does make a much better trailer, and it's all character development for the game. It's less harmful than Natara. Huge return, 18 years in the making, and you've immediately killed her with that voice actress. A lot of people just hate Natara in the new game just because of the voice actress, not anything else. I think she's flawed in many areas, but that's talk for another time. I've talked too much about MK12. I don't care. I don't think many people care about that game at this point. It died a death. The honeymoon period wore off quickly, as I predicted, because, boy, that game is devoid of content. And that'll be relevant when we're talking about this game, because this definitely has the most content of an NRS game. Pales in comparison to a Deception and Armageddon, but it's all right. We'll get to it. But yeah, I really enjoyed the reveal. It probably the most hyped I was for a game ever. That probably still stands true. Because everyone knew. The other game I put was like WWE 2K18, an underrated WWE game, I must say, because that's like the one 2K game that changed a whole lot. Had a lot of like glitches and stuff, but it changed a lot and added a lot of cool stuff. And again, that's a side tangent. So yeah, I was very excited for the game. You know, Kombat Cast, that was like a weekly thing, and they'd always do a reveal trailer and stuff to Kombat Cast. MK12, there was like 4, maybe 5 Kombat Casts just at random times. They did not show off the whole roster's gameplay. Terrible marketing. There was no schedule, there was no structure. It was random stuff. Reiko didn't even get a proper reveal trailer. He was revealed in a launch trailer. Like why? Very dumb. It was very dumb. Yeah, just that's just an appalling launch. You know, like, and Anakin had just like they show up the customization on the gameplay reveal day. That was like 20 minutes just non-stop information. They showed a bunch of fatalities. They showed a bunch of matches. You know, Scarlet's back, Baraka's back. You got this new cool motherfucker Garrus, right? They showed all that. They showed like the custom variations and stuff. They showed everything. Whereas under 12, most stuff we didn't know until the very last minute. And that's probably because a lot of the stuff they had to show is bad. Invasions. That might be why. I don't know. But yeah, it was much better in MK11 and MK12, I assure you. I know like a bunch of cool leaks. I remember the select screen leak. And you had like the file name leaks. Like cool stuff. I have a lot of fun memories of just that. And obviously got the game itself. A lot of fun memories there. You know, I came in expecting to remain Baraka because Baraka's awesome. Everyone loves Baraka. And then I unlocked Frost. I started playing Frost. And this would have been like day 1. And then I started learning her more. And she became my main. And she still is like over 4 years later. Nearly 5 now. Like, it's quite crazy. But yeah, it's a very exciting release. It releases a complete game, I'd say. It had flaws, no doubt. We'll get to that. But it wasn't an MK12. It released. It was a complete product. From what I remember, it was received very positively. More positively than the latest game. Maybe I just wasn't looking in the right places, you know. But I remember this game was went on very positively. The only problem was story, of course, and the grind, the microtransactions. The microtransactions, we'll get to that, because I don't even think the microtransactions are a problem in this game. We'll talk about that, but just the grind generally. Again, we'll cover that. We'll get to Towers of Time. We'll talk about the whole thing. I don't play on Xbox One anymore, which is why I had it on. And I played for like a year. You can find a bunch of old videos on this very channel of clips from that game. Got a lot of views as well. That's like the first time my channel actually got any views. Obviously, I'm like 300 subscribers. Not a big deal. But it's cool. We got a niche little community of little frosters going around. but yeah, I stopped playing on Aftermath. I checked out the update. The DLC was so overpriced for that. Real rough pricing for the Aftermath DLC. And then I just kind of fell off the game. Maybe it was because they showed us a contract schedule. I'll talk about all that in more depth. But yeah, I just kind of stopped. I lost interest due to various reasons. I think I probably got Deception around that time. That might have been why, because Deception's a better game. But yeah, I like a year ago, I want to say I got a game on Switch because my girlfriend Ava gave me a code, and I was like, okay, sure, I will try it out because yeah, I do remember enjoying this game. I don't know if I would anymore, but I do like the game. And I got to try like the DLC characters I didn't get. I had the Kombat pack, I had Shiva. I might get the whole Aftermath thing. I really can't remember. I cannot remember. I might have been stupid and then bought the whole Aftermath bundle. I hope I didn't. And I might have, because it's probably... Actually, no, it's 2020. No, it's a lot later. I was going to say, it might be a time where I was buying a bunch of V-Bucks. That was earlier. that was earlier. I've gone on so many side tangents. But yeah, basically, I pre-ordered the game on Xbox, played it for a good while, enjoyed it, quit it, got like a year ago on Switch, and I do genuinely like it again. So yeah, let's go over everything. Story, and the story icon had a better one before Aftermath update. It had a much cooler one. But yeah, they basically spoil for like Liu Kang existence. And like in the launch trailer it showed off, which is weird. The story's bad. I did a full critique. Maybe it was 2 years ago. Jesus Christ, how fast does time go? But yeah, I did a whole Aftermath critique. I would do the base story, but I can't be arsed. It's bad. For obvious reasons, there's a bunch of plot holes. Chronica has no clear motive. She wants eternal war. Why? She's mad at Raiden for actual reasons, sure, but why is she only interfering now? After she's not lost, but the second time he lost, she didn't intervene like in the whole backstory, like water wiped out the fucking dinosaurs. That's a thing, by the way. She doesn't show up then, so that's already a plot hole. There's also the fact that if there's been multiple timelines and she's just been resetting each one, then why is this one going to be so bad? Why is the next reset going to suddenly be different and suddenly pertaining to Chronica? They make a bunch of rules about the Hourglass. They still do. The Titan law, bullshit. Her keep is in an undisclosed location, a Sea of Blood. The only person who might know about it is Charon. And that might be it, but he's an old fucking man. He's not like a god or anything. It doesn't seem. Just kill him, and then keep going with your plans. She wants protectors for a location that none of the heroes know the whereabouts of, or know the existence of. So she makes her presence known, brings in a bunch of heroes from the past for some reason. So just creates enemies, and then loses because she's a fucking dummy. It's stupid. Time travel fucking sucks in MK. Especially when people want multiverse stuff. MK12's done multiverse stuff, but not the way people want. People thought, oh, if it's going to be time stuff, then they're going to have the Midway timeline show up. Right? That's the logical thing. But no. They brought in characters from MK2, not actual MK2, from MK9's MK2. So they just brought in underdeveloped versions of the characters we've been following. Mainly just so you can have human versions of the Revenants without having to figure out a solution to restoring the Revenants. Because they wrote themselves into a corner in the last game with Scorpion killing Quan Chi for dumb reasons. Like, yeah, you want your revenge, but you waited 5 fucking years to plan an attack. Can you not wait an extra week, buddy? And he suffers no consequences for it in this game. Everyone's just like, oh yeah, Scorpion's awesome, what a hero. Like no, he fucking betrayed you all in the last game. Kotal too. Kotal straight up lies to past Raiden, and it's not brought up, so I can't tell if it's a retcon or what. There's so many things I could talk about. I think just most of the story is just fucking bad. I think there's good aspects to it. And it's probably some of the second best. No, the third, maybe. Third best NRS story. Which, the third least bad, you know. I think MKX is the best one, and it's not good. It's just so nothing that it doesn't do anything ridiculous. So, by default, it's kind of the best one, I guess. Then second, I might say the new story. Not for the new lore, but I think there's a lot of good character stuff. Then base MK9's fine. Aftermath makes it a whole lot worse. MK9, definitely terrible story there, and Aftermath's probably the worst. I would rank the stories. I don't want to go in depth into it because I've talked about the story to death. And again, if I were to go, I need a whole separate video to do a story critique. And there's multiple story critiques out there, including my own, so it's just a mess. The chapter system sucks. It doesn't offer a new gameplay experience. That's why I don't like the story mode system. I think the idea of cinematic story where you have chapters of playing characters, I think that can work if you're lenient about what character you're playing as. There's no reason to force you up to be a character for 4 or 5 fights. There's no reason for that rule. It's pointless. Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't offer anything new. Between the cutscenes, it's regular gameplay. It's not like Conquest where you got this like free roaming open adventure, explore the realms, do a bunch of side quests, train your characters and stuff. That's all cool stuff. This is a one and done situation, and most people are only going to play it just so they can get the rewards, because you get a lot of good rewards in this. So you just kind of grind through every NRS story mode one time when you get the game. You don't think much on it, and you don't revisit it because there's no replayability. The only replay value in this one is, I guess, because you have times where you pick your character, which I think is kind of neat. So you can go back to them and then do the fight as a different character. That's something, I guess. But yeah, it really is just regular fights. Section of Silence NPCs, which takes the piss. That's unacceptable to have them as NPCs. But yeah, I think it's just fan mode. It really needs a revamp. Even if you like story mode, I feel like fundamentally, for the sake of content, you need to change the system. Because it's not even like this is an effective way to do a story. So it's like you're missing out on anything if you change the pattern to be something that's much more unique than just, it's a fight, you're just fighting. You could just do these matches in versus mode. So yeah. Next up is Tales of Time. Overall negative on this one, but I do think there's some positives. There's some interesting stuff. I think a positive is just there's a lot to do. There's a lot to go back to. It's replayable. It's just not very fun. And by replayable, I mean your AI is going to be replaying it a lot. I've probably spent hundreds of hours in Tales of Time, but very few hours actually playing the mode, if that makes sense. I think augments are very cheap. They feel like a mobile game thing. They're not engaging. They're a lot less fun to like test your luck or even like the deception combat trial like modifiers. I feel a lot of them are. I think the fun thing is getting to use the augments yourself. You have a lot of cool ones, like you have assist characters. Yeah, cameos are in this game in Tales of Time. That includes Section of Cyrax, so that's a kind of neat thing, I suppose. And there's a lot of them. I will give them credit. They went all out with animation, and they added a bunch more for like special events, like a bunch themed after holidays and stuff. You have like the Santa's slave from like the pit fucking show up in one of them. It's wacky. It's kind of fun to mess around with. Usually it's not that fun or just completely unimportant when you're actually in the matches. And yeah, it feels like an AI farm. It really does, because that's the best way to do it. Because I'm not getting anything out of just playing it myself, I feel. If you complete a tower, you can replay it and whatnot. Of course, they're ever rotating. And at first there were less towers than what there are now. And then they updated it. They also added some stuff like the Meteor Towers, which you enter like a hidden code and you get like a tower, you get like a Jinsei augment and you get like a Combat League skin. I think that's a cool thing to add. I think they could have made it a lot more convenient than what it is, but I'm glad it exists. There's a lot of improvements they made in the mode. Overall, I just think it's fundamentally not that great. The Gauntlet mode is like a good challenge thing. I think that was kind of fun, but also kind of annoying unless you know what you're doing. So, there's a lot of pros and cons to it. Overall, I don't think it's great. It's the best side content I think of a mode that is just sort of fighting game. And what I mean by that is that the 3D era had side modes that were just a completely different experience. Conquest modes had like an action adventure one, and you just had one where you'd explore and do quests and stuff. Chess combat, yeah, there's fights in there, but it's just set on a chessboard and the rules are different. You know, puzzle combat, that's just Tetris. Motor combat, that's a fucking racing game. You know, like there's much more creativity and originality and just uniqueness to that than oh, here's regular fights with some shitty modifiers we cooked up in half an hour. Like, you get a lot of rewards, and that's the main positive. The positive is the replay value of getting the rewards. It's just a grind. The rewards are cool. Aside the fact that they're probably going to repair it because you're just getting the same skin palettes. But most stuff, not so much. There's neat stuff. Like you have like these ones where I think they're called Premiere Towers or whatever, but they have you play two characters typically, and you know they team up for 3 of the towers, including the boss tower. The boss towers are fun. Those are the ones I play. I like the boss towers. Those are quite fun. And yeah, you get essentially do tag team. A lot more simplified than like MK9's full-fledged mode. You just like move the right stick, you switch out, and you do a move when you enter. Sorry. Yeah, and there's just cool stuff like that. There's also like these co-op towers. One is a tag team. You can team with another player, or you can just do solo tag where you control both players. So you kind of always have a tag team mode available against the boss. That's kind of always an option because the co-op towers, they change what the bosses are daily. Each day there's a new one, but the actual towers are the same. You have one that is like has all the players fighting on the same time, fighting the boss at the same time. You have one where you're watching a player at a time and you're firing augments and stuff, and another that's the tag one. You always have those three. And they're pretty tricky, they're the hardest ones, but you get a lot of good rewards. I still don't even have all the rewards for them. The problem is, I guess it's out of their control now, but it takes a while to play the match. I'm playing on Switch, which is the lowest player base, I firmly believe. Although it's probably going to stay pretty high in the future, just because the MK1 Switch bad. Well, I was saying that, you know, PlayStation, Xbox players, MK1's not even on their console, so I suppose not. But most people are stuck with 11. They're not going to move to 12 because that's a poorly optimized port. Which, by the way, just pointing out now, the Switch port is fantastic. It's one of the most impressive ports on the console. I think the storage space is quite annoying. I get why it's like that. MK12 it was like 5 gigabytes until an update that made it bigger than this game, so I can't even praise MK12 for the file size anymore. But yeah, I get why it's that big. It runs well. You get some crashing when you open like the cosmetics and stuff. And the crypt's just badly optimized. I'll show you when we get to the crypt. But outside of that, it's a very good port. So yeah, I just want to give praise there because these are screenshots of the Switch menu. And it looks near identical to me. So well done. Well done, NetherRealm. Actually, the Switch port isn't developed by NRS. What am I talking about? but at the time it has some cool stuff. Overall, it just feels like a grind. I get the appeal though. I think it's a lot better than the other stuff NRS games have offered though. It's just still not ideal. It pales in comparison to true side content. But I don't necessarily hate it. The main thing I hate is the limited time stuff. Not because it's limited time. I think the constant rotating stuff is quite interesting. It's quite engaging. Until you complete them all, of course, that is. But you're limiting what you can do, and also you're making it online based because it needs to have a timer set, and it needs to process the rewards and stuff. If they just made it like we add towers, there's a huge selection of towers. Pick which one you fancy. You can't even really play the Gauntlet towers. It's weird. I feel like they could have just done that. It would have been better instead of actually making it time based. At least by the final update, make that a thing. Because there's a lot of unobtainable cosmetics. Before I show what they are, I just want to look at the store. You get these bundles. The price of them are a bit ridiculous. I think the store is also wasted. I like the idea. Because I don't actually dislike time crystals. I'll get into time crystals in a sec. But this is another thing that I feel like they should have just made everything available whenever you want it, include like specific bundles and whatever at the top. But yeah, you can just search for whatever you need, and if you've earned the time crystals, then here's an easy way to get them. I think they should have just done that, because they're not really losing anything. In fact, they'd probably make more money because it would make time crystals a lot more lucrative instead of the shitty source system that just has like palette swaps half the time. More than half the time, 9% of the time. Probably more than 9% of the time. But time crystals I don't mind, because you can earn an infinite amount. This duplication glitch I use, sure. But even without it, you play Kombat League every day, you're getting 50 a day. So you can rack them up, and considering the fact that the time crystal store, most of it is stuff you can get at other means. It's kind of like, oh, if you're struggling to get this, well, here's your chance to just get it with some crystals, right? There's stuff that they added that turned out to be either Race Against Time or Time Crystal store exclusive. But by the way, Race Against Time, I keep forgetting it exists. It's the leaderboard for Towers of Time each week. I quite like it. I just think locking palette swaps to getting the top 5% of that specific week is a bit annoying, because they're just palette swaps, they're not really special ones. I just got the Final Frost one yesterday. I finally got all the Frost skins that I can get, because there's one that you can't get. We'll get to that. But yeah, I just think it's a waste of opportunity with the store. Time crystals you can get 50 a day. You get a bunch in story mode. Aftermath especially. The reason Aftermath's price so pricey is because the story mode rewards are actually quite plentiful. Still not enough to justify the price, but there's quite a lot of stuff with the Aftermath story rewards. You also get them for like doing training modes. You get them for leveling up, which becomes harder and harder to do. There's a lot of resources you can get that get a good amount at the start. Then you can keep backing up with Kombat League. At the end of each season, depending on your rank, you can get a good amount of time crystals as well. Like, there's a lot of sources to get them. You can probably argue there should be more, but I think it's alright. I wish they didn't make stuff exclusive to paying with time crystals. I think that was pretty dumb. But yeah, you can just get a constant amount, even without a duplication glitch. Which I can't say the same for MK12, because they don't have time crystals in Kombat League. You cannot earn time crystals in Kombat League. So you have a set amount you'll get from like the story and whatever, leveling up. Your levels, they're capped much lower in that game as well. MK11, you can get up to like level 500. And most time I'm going to make it to 100. I'm at level 80 something. And on Switch, I played over 1,400 hours. And of course, I've also played hundreds of hours on the Xbox version. So I know a lot about this game. But yeah, and like MK12 already has so many more Dragon Crystal Store exclusives than the Time Crystal Store did. Time Crystal Store is like the MK2 skins, which are in Race Against Time now anyway. The Rain, like the classic Rain skin as well, and then like the Time Warrior skin pack stuff. Eternal Clash as well. You can't get anything there. We'll get to that. But yeah, it's a shame. I don't think time crystals are that bad, because when game came out, there was a whole like debate on like, oh, microtransactions in this game, and I don't think it was that bad. I think it's kind of scummy that exists in the first place, but it's not something you ever feel like you need to get because you can get a good amount of time crystals for free. I have 14k here. And it's like £85. Like, is there a price to just buy them? I think if it was just a really rare currency you earn and not treated as a microtransaction, this would be seen as a fine little thing. I feel I don't think it would mind too much. It's definitely not great. I just don't think it's that bad. The store itself sold these crystals. Even sold Frost. You can pay for Frost even unlock her. In story, it does say you unlock her. And they do the same for Havoc, except Havoc's more expensive because of inflation, I guess. This is another thing that, kind of harmless because you can unlock it, but again, it comes across as scummy because it's like, oh, well, people are going to buy that stuff. So you are going to make a quick buck off of that, and that feels cheap. Doesn't really impact me, doesn't really impact the game. It's just like, that's kind of suspicious. Here, I might as well talk about the other DLC, the Kombat pack, the first one. I think is a pretty damn good DLC pack, and I can't say I agree with the DLC picks per se. But you get a good variety of characters. They had them spaced out between months, and you get a skin pack with each one, and you get an exclusive Kombat pack skin as well. The skin packs can be bought separately, but you can only get like these exclusive skins in the Kombat pack, like Ninja Mime Johnny. I can't think of the rest, but there's a lot of skins. You get a ton of skins. You get 6 characters with like all the customization. DLC skins, final customization. They don't have 60 skins like the base roster has. Before they added like more stuff with DLC and Combat League, they have 60. DLC ones have 40, but it's not like it's not like the base roster where like a couple of those skins are just going to be variants of the same skin, with like a hat removed or whatever. It's more than that, but you get the idea. Each of the 4 skins is very unique for the characters, for the DLC characters. The problem is you have to earn them, but earning them is a lot easier because it's just character towers, which another thing I've got to mention in Towers of Time. Character towers is a whole thing. You gotta get requirements for characters, do various things with like spill points of blood in matches, and then you can do the towers. You get a bunch of rewards pertaining to that character. I think that's a really good system. Also, it has like a little story, just a bad one. You get like a text box info. I think they should have done a DA Conquest thing and like actually like covered character lore and like story stuff to flesh out the characters more. I think that would be much better. There's so much potential in the character towers thing, and I think it's the best part of Towers of Time. It's not limited time based. It tracks like getting, working towards stuff. It was very much a big grind initially, but they toned down the requirements to get stuff. The only problem is like if you're trying to get to rewards with like an AI, most AI don't do fatal blows, and that's a common requirement that you need to meet, and that takes a while to do. But yeah, overall character towers are pretty good. Just again, some wasted potential. But yeah, like the card pack, £32 something pence. You get your money's worth for sure. The skin packs are basically free because it's a $5 per character, so you're getting like the skins for like £2 something, and £5 for a DLC character. I think that's a fine price. The fact it's like £6 something now, $8 in America. That's way too much, especially when MKL movesets have a lot more going on because you have the abilities, you have the extra abilities you can choose from and stuff, and a lot more customization. So you're just getting more bang for your buck, really. So I thought that was well priced. Aftermath came along, free characters, free skin packs, so we're already cutting the rewards in half. but you get the Aftermath story expansion, and now it's £35. It's a bit more expensive than the Kombat pack, despite giving you half the rewards. Literally half the rewards. Aftermath itself, you get a Kung Lao skin, you get a Cassie skin that is one of her Kombat pack skins, but with the jacket off. So, I wouldn't really count that. You get a Shang Tsung skin. You get 2 Shang Tsung skins. So that's 4 skins there. And one of them is just a Kombat pack skin with a jacket off. There might be another. I can't think of another one now. You get the Eternal Clash pack if you pre-ordered it. Pre-ordering DLC, terrible practice, by the way. That is fucking ridiculous. And now you can't get the Eternal Clash stuff, amongst other things. Again, I'll show you a list. So yeah, that doesn't make up for the price, because again, like I said, the story mode doesn't offer a unique gameplay experience. It is just matches. It is matches that you can do in exhibition. You get the cutscenes. I'm sure time went into them, but I'm not paying for that. I can watch it on fucking YouTube. And the story itself is bad. So, yeah, very, very stupid. It's definitely a shame, because, again, I think the characters are right. I mean, RoboCop. I don't like guess speaking, but his moveset's quite annoying. And the fact that he has like a bootleg cyberlink way skin, it's taking the piss. My second sorry, so NPCs for no reason. Like fuck off. That was annoying. Fujin and Shiva are very cool DLC characters, so I really enjoy playing as Shiva. Fujin is very tricky to play, but awesome character. One of the actual big returns to the roster. We'll talk about the roster at the end, I think. But yeah, I think the picks are cool, but £35? No, that's ridiculous. And also the skin packs didn't have a 4th skin with them. They didn't do the Kombat pack thing where, you get these special ones. So now that you think about it, you get 3 original skins in the Aftermath DLC. Yeah, that is literally half the content of Kombat Pack 1. There's some time crystals there. Like, okay, oh boy, time crystals. But, yeah. Not great. Then you have Kombat Pack 2. No skin packs. 3 characters. £15 now. So it's just a £5 for each character. No discount again, the bundle of them. So, pretty harmless. That's not overpriced. But boy, does that feel incomplete. You've made the roster an odd number. And clearly there's meant to be more. Because Kombat Pack and Aftermath are always planned, right? Then Kombat Pack 2 just kind of shows up. And it's like, okay, I'll take 3 more characters, but it could have been more. I got more skin packs. Could have better character picks altogether, honestly, because Mia was in the last game. She did not need to be on this roster. I think she's fun in this game. I always played characters. But she's only in because you appease to stands, which are a vocal minority. Twitter stands. And you shouldn't give them what they want. You shouldn't give them that power, because that's fucking dangerous to give into toxic fans. Rain wasn't in MKX. He was DLC in 9 though. It feels like if you're gonna have him, he should have just been base roster. And then the NRS game where he's actually in the story, he's not playable at all. NRS logic for you. But Rain's also a cool character. Rambo's got a quirky moveset. I like Rambo the character. Do I care about him in MK? Not really. Again, I feel like I should have just thrown it. Tanya, if you're going with a theme there, coming in Rain of part of that Adelian resistance, throw in Tanya. Make that like a trio pack. But at least it being a 3 pack makes a bit more sense. There's a bit more cohesion there. And Tanya's a part of the character. She was also in the last game, but fuck it, that clearly doesn't matter, does it? You need 1K4 and 3D error picks, so yeah. I think there's always potential. With the DLC, I think Kombat 1 is good, regardless of my gripes with the whole guest character, their existence. the two best guest characters in the Kombat pack, I think Joker and Spawn are definitely the best ones. But then you just got another 6 characters split into 2 packs, which combine it is £50. It costs the game itself for what is still less content than what Kombat Pack 1 gave. It makes no sense. And if it's just taking a piss, because that's like, £100 of DLC to get everything. There's also like a tenner. There were 2 skin packs that were sold separate. You'd think they'd include like, because the last bit of DLC I had was like the 95 movie skins, which, okay, that's cool. I don't like the movie, but that's cool. You don't get them in Kombat Pack 2 though, you gotta buy it separately. There's one, a random Halloween skin pack that wasn't in the Kombat Pack. Because they did a second Halloween skin pack that was in the Kombat Pack. And now it has like a cool Cabal skin. So I have both of them. But yeah, like they're so separate. Again, a skin pack's being £5. That's fine for this game because you get all the palettes, you get 3 unique skins, you get 3 gear pieces for each one. That's a lot there. It's just weird how they're not bundled into anything. And then if you, someone like me who pre-ordered the game, £50 down the drain, now you gotta spend £100 to get all the content. And they expect you to pre-order that as well. Like it is fucking absurd. Real terrible, and this is why, don't buy NRS games early. Just don't, because they will release a complete edition in a couple years' time, and that will go on sale real quickly, and it'll have all the content, and you'll save a whole lot of money. Instead of just buying it 2 years early and you get an incomplete game, essentially. I think, NK9 Ultimate, like the final build of this game is a lot better than what this game started out as. Oh, there are some problems with this final build. I made a list called NK9 Untitled Cosmetics. And this is a list. Eternal Clash skin pack, all skins, gear, feats included. None of the bundles, because they then released the skin pack in the Time Crystal store. But with this final build, you have the same yearly rotation of rewards. It's the same rotation for like Towers of Time. It's the same for the Crystal store. And Eternal Clash is not in it. Cold War Scarlet, not in it. And she's just Cold Scarlet now. The last of this game truly got change the skin because, all the shit Brush has been doing, of course. And you think, they've changed that so they can now sell this skin again. But no, they didn't change the rotation at all, and she's still unobtainable. Which I have this skin on Xbox, because it's meant to be a Russia exclusive, but I'm not Russian, and I got it with my pre-order copy. Neat skin. It's better with the update, actually, because the problem with it was the fact that it had, like, random, Soviet Union connotations, even though obviously the character has nothing to do with that. I don't know why that was a theme. It's in MKX. There's a bunch of skins. There was like 4 like Cold War skins in MKX. Very weird. Collector's Edition scoring packs. This one makes sense. They're just palettes. It's for an exclusive thing. All Collector's Edition absurd. They did another one in case you forgot. You get palettes, exclusive palettes there. And also it has unique gear pieces, which I didn't even exist. I don't know what they look like. I find that a bit weird, but okay. Again, that stuff just makes sense to not release. I think having an Ultimate Collector's Edition in the first place is fucking daft, but if you're going to have it, then yeah, make that stuff exclusive for the people who wasted their money on it. Alternate pants for Time Warrior skins. 4 for Scarlet, 4 for Liu Kang, 2 for Noob. So 2 of Noob's bundles are in. And like one has like 2 colours. This is the Kombat Pack 2 pre-order skin pack. They would have made more money if they just threw it in the pack in general. Like hey, here's a skin pack you get free of charge if you get the full Kombat pack. But no, it's a pre-order bonus, which is weird. But at least you get the base skins and all their gear piece. Those bundles are in the store. But they're missing the alt colours, and Scarlet has some cool ones. With like a full red bodysuit and a white and red one. That's a shame. 2 bright pink palettes for MK2 Melina. They're just not around. The other Melina palettes are. All of your MK3 ones are around. But she's missing 2. And the reason why it's Panzer 2 is because these Time Crystal Store exclusives, or Race Against Time exclusives, they come in bundles of 2. Because because you get the skin and you get the alt color for it. If you didn't know, even though like other parts are listed separately, there is a player 2 color for each palette still, like in the old games. And the bundles, they'll charge you for 2 skins, but it's actually just one. You can press start on it to get the other color. And then there's just there's a regular default palette and some gear from that's the names I cannot pronounce any of that, but those were in her trial towers. This was a cool thing Towers of Time did, which makes sense why it's not a thing now. Again, if you just made it not limited time in the final build and people can try out these towers. It's basically when the characters came out, there's a trial tower, so you could play the characters in these towers, see if you like them, see if you want to buy them. That's a cool system. You'd get some rewards for them as well. So it's like, hey, you already unlocked some stuff for them. Why not unlock the character? And then they just didn't re-release certain stuff in Character House. Terminator 2, which is weird because Terminator was one of the first DLC characters, the third one, if I recall correctly. There's one Race Against Time random palette for coming out that isn't in the year rotation, but everything else is. That's just annoying. Why is it just the one? Come on. Robocop's announcer voice not in the shop. I can't say I particularly care about that one, but that's another thing. And then this is stuff that was never made available, okay? There's a ton for Frost, Shao Kahn, and Gears that are never attainable, but you can find them in the files, and they're in the game. If you didn't know, and you'll see it playing the video, but you can see the list of finishers a character has, and even if you have everything you can possibly get for those 3 characters, it'll say you're missing one, and that's because it's these taunts that were never made available. There was never a way to get them, but they count towards completion. A real piss take. This game is literally 100% impossible to 100% complete. It's just annoying. It's just so annoying. Beta and NRS combat card icons, backgrounds, the beta reward thing. Unnecessary thing to have, but sure, and I think it makes this Bias exclusive. NRS one is basically beating an NRS employee. Like they're playing this game. Like what a dumb reward. That's just stupid. And there's a bunch of unreleased comment card icons and backgrounds. You can probably find them online. Again, they count towards the lock thing. You see a bunch of lock stuff, and they all have listed requirements to unlock them. You can't unlock them. It's dumb. And it's quite strange because I like all the quirky icons and all the backgrounds you get with the comment cards. They took out borders from MKX. I don't really mind. I assume it's because you get like a little badge for your Combat League rank. I guess that might have clashed with it. MK12 is the same, except now you get a special border with your comment card icon, which I think is too much, right? Like the little badge, sure, I don't mind that being on my profile, but if it's like covering my whole thing, no, that's bad. But yeah, this is like really cool. There's so many that I can't go through them all, but there's plenty, and like it's not like I need more. But why wouldn't you just release the unreleased ones, and why do they count towards being locked? I don't think anyone gets 100% the icons and backgrounds, but it's just again a nuisance. The background for Shang Tsung, because each character has a name card with their name on it in the background. Shang Tsung does not have one of those. That's the most glaringly absent one. In the files, you can unlock it with like a hack, because it's in the game. It's just you cannot meet the unlock requirement to use it, which is so dumb. I don't know a game that's like that. Not in recent memory. Just really silly. Anyway, you have classic towers. You can unlock character endings. You can unlock them in character towers as well, because the first one's a boss fight with Chronicles. So, If you look here, though, you're 5 types. You have a novice one, you have a warrior, you have a champion one. There's like the regular, like arcade-esque towers. It just varies the amount you can get. There's one that's just 5. That's the nice one. So you want to speed on getting the endings, and there you go. I like having options. I don't really care for the amount you buy. Unless it was like a scalar thing. I just don't know why you'd have such a specific amount for 3 of them. Because I know it's a reference to the old games, but it's not even the right amount. Then you have an endless one, which, you do as many fights so you lose. Then Survivor, where your health carries over, and there's 25. There's 25 opponents. I like those 2, those rank X. Those are kind of fun. But yeah, the towers are just very meaningless these days. When you have the local verses, there's a lot less point to going to these towers. When you unlock the endings in Towers of Time, it just makes classic towers kind of irrelevant. And you have stuff like Endless and Survivor Towers. It's nice to have those options. I'd rather have this than not have it, of course. And I think it's one you could play offline. I could be wrong. Probably am. They probably find a way to lock this fine, I think. But the AI is a problem. I think it's just NRS in general. Actually, MK9 isn't that bad, from what I recall. Although the bosses are annoying. But the AI is just really not engaging in this game. And again, that harms Towers of Time. That especially harms classic towers that just doesn't have the modifiers and the quick stuff. You can use your own modifiers in towers, so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, the AI is just not engaging regardless of difficulty. I think very hard is just like ridiculously annoying. Like even my main has struggled with that. Not like an engaging way. It's just like bullshit. It just goes from 0 to 100, right? Like very easy. They could just be so it is a frame dummy. Same for easy. There's barely a difference there. Medium, they'll do stuff, just not a lot. Hard is probably the best difficulty in the game. It's what most of the towers are at. The Towers of Time. You can select the difficulty for classic towers, I believe. But yeah, even that's just the AI is not great, which is weird because a lot of thought went into the AI for this game because you have AI fire and you can modify AI stats. You cannot fight against the AI though. The AI stats you set don't apply to your opponents. It's just your own characters, which I think has been so cheating because I think, despite a lot of flaws with it, I think that would have made being able to make your own AI much more engaging if it's something you fight. I had to make an AI so it can play the game for me. That's not appealing. If it was, make this AI and challenge yourself against it, that's fucking cool. But no, they didn't do that because of course not. Why would they do that? Yeah, there's really not much to say about Classic Towers. It exists. It's especially replacing this game. It has the options like Endless Survivor. MK12 removed that. And at least this one has a boss. Probably the coolest one. Chronicle's kind of a cool boss. Just not that fun. Not hard either. Just kind of a pain. But there's of course the dinosaur will trample over you. And summon past timeline enemies, which includes guest characters, even in story mode. So that's weird. Moving on to the crypt now. The crypt, I think this was solid at doing the idea that NRS has been trying to do in the past couple games, where they want it to be a mode you can explore and interact with stuff whilst unlocking things. And I think it's the only one that does it semi-decently. There's a lot of problems, but it's vast. And it's one that does feel more than just unlocking stuff. It's fun to explore Shang Tsung's Island ruins. As someone who's so tired of Shang Tsung's Island, I think it's very cool in this game now to explore it and stuff. The rewards are randomized in most chests, with exceptions like heart chests and stuff. You unlock them with hearts, of course. You get a lot of rewards, which I like stuff like that. I like stuff like that. I like the Inferno Skull chest. You need to find an Inferno Skull to break with Scorpion Spear to be able to open the chest. There's fun little puzzles like that. There's a surprising amount of depth to it. You get Shao Kahn's hammer, you can break shit with it, find hidden rooms and stuff. There's one that I hadn't found in ages. I was trying to figure out how to get into the dojo area. You have to break through a hidden wall thing, and you can only see it if you put the Kenshi's blindfold on. And yeah, it just makes a good use of all the tools you get and stuff, and there's just a lot going on. I know people don't like the randomized rewards. I think it works for this game because you refill the chests anyway to get more stuff. My problem is actually that most of the stuff is locked behind Towers of Time. I think the crypt is much better And it should be the main source to unlock stuff, because it's the fucking crypt. The crypt's existence was where you spend your currency to get rewards. Then NRS tried warping it into being more of a side mode, and while I respect that effort, that's just not what the crypt is. This one comes very close to doing it. It's certainly not perfect, but it does feel like more of an adventure than just, oh, I like the character. It's not like 9 and X where they just made it tedious to spend your stuff. This one is actually fun to go through, at least initially. Find the hidden stuff, getting all the unlocks. So there's so much going on. 7 heads to it, and you get them all. You unlock a door, which is the door you entered through. And that's now Shang's palace somehow, like fucking sure, I guess. That's his throne room. There's a bunch of like special chests, like a bunch of crazy rewards in there. There is a lot to it, and it takes a while to complete, I'd say. They made it less of a grind to get certain stuff, which is a good thing, because you had to, back at launch, we were just glitching a bunch of unlocks. They patched all out, but they made the requirements to get the stuff we were glitching in a lot easier, so fair enough. I just like it. I think it's good. There's a lot of cool areas. It explores the island in a cool way. I like the ruin aspect. I prefer the idea that the island just collapses without Shang's magic. So it's just not standing. But they do a good job showing off like this decayed island thing. It's just kind of annoying because we've seen more of the ruins than we have of the regular island, because the crypt does a fantastic job at exploring it. I really think this should have stuck around. This really should have stuck around. Is pulling through conquest-esque elements for like there's a lot of interactables. Obviously, you've got free roam. You're exploring the place. There's puzzles and stuff. They should have kept going with this, because they were improving it upon each entry. But no, MK12 just had to remove the fucking crypt. Amazing since Airlines. MK was the DC aside, but it's MK versus DC. Really annoying. Just genuinely a piss take. Because I like this. I do like this. I like stuff like the Forge. I like how there's like certain gear pieces hidden behind the Forge. Although, like, because you unlock recipes, but the recipes, I'll show you later, they do not tell you the full recipe. There's a missing item. And it's like, do you think I'm going to go through each item to figure out which one it is? Like, no, I'm Googling it now. Because that doesn't help at all. Because I still don't know the recipe, because I'm missing 33% of it. But I like the idea of it. I just wasn't executed well. I like the shrine. The shrine is good in this game, which I can't say it is in other games. The little Naknaden shrine, you just feed the little the god of greed. You give him his monies, and then he gives you stuff. 100,000 for like a special skin palette, usually 5 goblin cans of 75,000 for 2 pieces of gear. They change the rewards weirdly, like they move like the maskless cosmetics to be Towers of Time only. And it's like, I'd actually prefer to just spend coins on them. I remember people initially complained, like, oh, that's too expensive. Like, no, it's not. Look at my coin counter. It stopped counting how many coins I have. I like that there's stuff like that that's, very end game, and it is quite expensive. Again, this keeps you going for quite a bit. Not as long as it used to, because they made a bunch of stuff easier to get now, which I get why. Yeah, it's still quite engaging. I just wish most of the rewards were in the crypt. Because most of the rewards are in Towers of Time. If this was the main source of unlocking stuff, there'd be a lot more replay value to it. Because it still has replayability in the sense that you go there and you get a bunch of modifiers. That's the best place to go for that. But when I go to it, I'm not like getting new skins or anything, right? That changed a long time ago. I like Collector. You can trade with him. You have like trade items, and you trade it for like a certain reward. There's really cool stuff. I don't think it's perfect, but I think there's a lot of great ideas, and a lot of it was done decently. Not perfect by any means, but it was good. The Switch port was poorly optimized, though. I will bring this up. When you put Kenji's blindfold on, it doesn't even stay on in the Switch version. and because of render distance, it's surrounded by fog, so you can't even see stuff like the other side of the pit. I don't know if like Rain and Blaze, like that pit is even in the Switch version, or they just removed it. I assume it's there. You just can't see it because of fog, which I get. I get that they had to do that for the Switch version, but it doesn't run well anyway. There's a lot of lag. It's chugging along, and that's fine because it is just a crypt. You know, you don't need like good frames or anything, but it's choppy. It takes a while to load in your rewards for stuff, so it's just a lot more sluggish, a lot less enjoyable, and you obviously cannot ignore how bad it looks. But yes, it does the job, you know. This isn't like a deal breaker for not getting the Switch version. Now, Crypto is like event rewards, and they used to notify you when it'd happen. They stopped doing that. And then your only source was like Ed Boon's Twitter. And Ed Boon stopped doing that now, so... And even like the one channel who would post it has stopped doing it now. Maybe I'll start doing it. Because I got a bunch of views when the first event happened for Jax's Arms. That's going to repeat this week, by the way. Be on the lookout for that. I thought that was another unobtainable item until recently. But yeah, you can still get the first 10 crypto events, which were the ones that had items that you could only get that way. The stuff after there's other unlock means, so them not being obtainable is fine. But like every like 2 weeks after the next one, after one happens, you get the other one, and that's just kind of thing that's always going on. So look into that. I like the idea of the crypto events. I just think it's very annoying how there's exclusive stuff. Again, when they started doing events, I was like, oh, if you find this, then you get this like Kombat League gear, and it's like, oh, cool, a convenient way to get that. But yeah, no, not a great idea. Again, it's that limited time bollocks. That's very vague. There's not enough information on it. The notification system in this game is now broken because the game is dead. It doesn't work very well, but that is a thing that's worth mentioning. And since I mentioned notifications, let's look at the whole combat card thing. I showed like the actual combat card icon stuff, but you get daily challenges. You get a few coins, not a substantial reward, but it tracks how many you do, and it's just like, oh, who am I gonna play today? And it like gives you like, oh, win some matches this character. I'm like, okay. It's quite funny because some of them are like full uppercase, some are lowercase. Like it's very inconsistent. The DLC characters don't have it except Shao Kahn. I think Shao Kahn is one of those technically DLC. This game just treats Shao Kahn as a base roster character. Because again, it is. He was there at launch. He's just locked behind a paywall. Which is certainly annoying. For those who wouldn't own him. I haven't experienced the game without having him because I pre-ordered it. Then I got Ultimate, which comes with Shao. If you upgrade the game, if you have like base MKLM, you get the Ultimate upgrade. You don't get Shao Kahn. You still have to buy him separately. It is stupid. The DLC practice really is dumb. Yeah, I like having the day challenge thing. It's just not done well. I also got to see the race against time stats, but I haven't done anything this week. And your AI fighter daily rewards. We'll get to AI fighter. It's not great. Notifications is just empty because there's no notifications. But what I really like is career stats. This is the most in-depth stats page has been in an MK game, and I fucking love it. I love numbers. You know, I don't know, it's my fucking autistic brain or what, but like numbers, they keep going up. Like, yeah, that's fucking awesome. That is content in of itself for me. I fucking love just getting a number up, right? You know, like playtime. I just love seeing that number drop. I'm like, oh man, I have no life. Look at my many hours played. Which I don't know what like it counts because I've got like 1,400 hours. According to like the home menu thing. For my Switch. But apparently it's just been over 300, so I don't know. It shows how many gear you collected. I think that's like 3,700, maybe 800 something gear. So I'm close. I'm close to completion, I guess. Shows your win rate, shows the amount of fatalities done, mercies done, flawless rounds, brutalities, none of the friendships because they were added later. Friendships might count towards fatalities, I'm not sure. Because you can use easy fatality tokens to do friendships. Shows how many daily challenges you've done, as I said. Shows your online win streak. Shows you most play characters. And you have like certain tabs to show more information about like each thing. You even get like little medallions for like achievement stuff, and it counts that. But yeah, the online characters is my favorite bit because it shows your win-loss record with a character. It shows the percentage that you've used the character for. But you even get to see your online stats in like Kombat League. Which I think is very cool. It even tells you how to face any this season. Which is quite in-depth. It doesn't really help you out at all, but it's interesting. They put a lot of effort into the stats, and I'm a stat man, so like, yeah, give me that. I just like it. I like it. And you can also view people's combat cards, so if you're really pissed off at someone, you could check to see if they're a one trick, and they usually are. Check my combat card, and I've got online matches with every single character. So not to flex or anything, but my combat card's pretty sexy. And while looking at extra menus, I'm going to give a shout out to the options. There's a lot of good options. Change like sound settings, sounds like that, change of control stuff. There's various options. One that might not be known is you can change the amount of rounds for like your local matches. I haven't updated it. They increased to like 5, which I was very happy about. Because at the time I would like do local matches and stuff. But yeah, once you understand the game, that kind of loses appeal to like just throw characters together and do a match. But it's good to have those options. So shout out to that. So yeah, local play. You can fight against human or a CPU opponent, which is what versus should have always been. If you don't like versus like the 3D era and earlier, you need a second player. You couldn't just do it against the AI, which was very dumb. And MKX fine changed that. MK11 keeps the same thing. Cool. No complaints there, just not much to say. Tournament. Fight against a human opponent with tournament setting. I don't know why this one's locked to a human. And tournament settings, I'm not sure that is because I've never done this one. But I assume it's Kombat League. I assume is what tournament refers to. And this is very outdated because they updated Kombat League for Ultimate and made so that custom variations are allowed. They just banned certain things, certain moves and certain move combinations for somewhat valid reasons. It depends on the move. Some make sense, some make a bit less sense. And yeah, I mean, sure, have this as an option, but it's weird how this is like. This should be like a setting, I feel, on local. This, I don't know. And it should be an option because CPU. Also, I don't like how it's called tournament. And that's quite annoying because I have an actual tournament mode. MK4 did it, like the console ones. Gold kept it around. Where you make a tournament bracket and you put characters together. Like that'd be cool. That'd be content. But yeah, no, it's not like that. And that'd be especially cool for like, because you can make custom AI and you like make a tournament of like your AI fights or whatever. Because I know people like to like simulate like AI fights and stuff. Have a tournament setting like that. Then there you go. I don't know. I think there's potential in having a fun little tournament mode like that. Nothing very serious. But that could have been something. But yeah, no, this really isn't even a mode. I don't know why it's on the main menu. Online, the main part of this game, I'm not talking about the fact that you need internet for other stuff. This is against other players. You have a decent amount of options online. You have Kombat League, which has grown on me. I think Ultimate improved it a lot by allowing custom variations. For a time, originally it was just, you had 2 variation options, not even 3 like in MKX. Very weird, and a lot of the picks are quite shit and not people's preferred ones. I guess you could say it made it more unique than casual, but I prefer having the options, for sure. And also back then, it's just a bit more, it is a more imbalanced game. It's the most balanced MK game yet, I'd say now. Yeah, it took a bit to get there. But yeah, this is a very balanced game. We'll get to the gameplay, of course. Like, when I want to cover the modes, we'll cover the roster, then I'll cover gameplay, and I'll just give my final thoughts. But yeah, I like some comedy. You get like XP bonus from a streak. You have seasonal challenges. You have daily challenges that always give you time crystals. You have a really nicely organized like chart for your rewards and stuff. I like it. I just think the gear especially should be using it. They made the skins quite easy to get with the meteor towers. But yeah, a lot of the gear is quite difficult to get. Kombat League, it has two versions of the seasons. You have one as the original rewards, then another one that is... It shuffles the rewards, and then it has some new rewards that replace others. So some rewards are only in like one wave of seasons. Those are the quite rare ones. And others... The good thing of having a second wave is a lot of the ones that are high tier rewards are now lower tiers and they're easier to get. That does not apply to everything though. Also, it just takes a long time for season to come back because it's 28 days per season. But I like it. I do. It must be said. And the system of you have it's the best of three, and you lose, you can change your character. I think that's a great system. MK12 fucked it up by making it best of 5 for some reason, and you can't even change your character. You can only change your cameo. Like, why? And then you don't get time crystals as a what? Terrible online. Don't fix what ain't broken. I know people complain about comedy, but that's mostly the players. And whatever was complaining about with like the mode itself, they fix. Right? Like this is a very perfect like online rank system that MK has. I do like it. You have your casual modes, you have King of the Hill still, which no one's really only playing these days. I mean, it's AI only, which literally the amount of people who have played AI only on Switch is within the hundreds. The leaderboard stops at a point, like a random number. Actually, no, that's not true. It's over 100. It only goes up to top 100. However, like the top 100 is players who have had like a couple matches, right? Like no one played this, not at launch, not now. Trash mode. Basically, it was AI fighter but online. So you'd both watch. You'd make your picks and you'd both watch. I've never done this. I appreciate the option, but yeah, I don't think anyone liked AI fighter. People used it, because you had to get like exclusive rewards in AI fighter. We'll get to that, but yeah. Casual versus has no restrictions on your characters, no restrictions on who gets the swap. You can replay as many times as you want. What you'd expect, of course. King of the Hill is like you can get like up to 6 people in a lobby, and you take turns fighting the king, trying to throw. I like that system. I think it's kind of neat. Not really for me, but I like it. It is an NRS online thing that I do appreciate. You can make your custom lobbies for King of the Hill and stuff. You can change settings and stuff. You can invite people for practice. You have practice settings with friends and stuff, and you can just have a private versus match where you invite someone. And you can have rooms. There's some default rooms that you can make your own, like bad booty bitches. That's a cool room. Yeah. Surprisingly, there's 10 in the Black Dragon Fight Club, so there's people who use the rooms. And basically what it is you make a room, and I assume it's King of the Hill only. You make a room that's just like actually, I don't know. It might like versus stuff. But oh, right, no. What it is you join the room, your name's on like a list, and then people in that room can like invite you and stuff. It's just a place for people to get together. Again, I'd like that as an option. It's a pretty inactive one. It always would have been, but it's a good option to have. It's relatively harmless. Just not much to say on it. AI fighter. This is real fucking dumb. I don't remember this being marketed or anything. It's just a thing that happened to be in the game. And people are like, okay. Most people only ever played it because there are exclusive rewards that require you playing AI fighter. And what it is you have a defense team, and everyone's team they set up will show up in when you search for a file, it'll give you a random list, right? and you get to fight that team with a team of your own. And, whichever team wins, right? Of the three, best of three rules, you have like a row of three, and they go in order. And you can fast forward it, but yeah, I always do that. I haven't watched an AI fight before. You just do it until you get all the AI fight exclusive rules, which includes a lot of like good stuff. Like I think Scorpion's story mode skin is unlocked in this mode. Like why? The R forward is cool. Look at that. No one plays. I know that because I've had like one defense since I got this game the past year. So not many people are doing it. Even you people, because you wouldn't think, oh, you unlock stuff here. Pretty trash mode. Again, I like the whole customize your AI thing. It just adds to the customization of characters. But it's good for farming times of time. And it would have been good as like something to challenge yourself against, but yeah, that's not an option. AI fighter, unnecessary mode. No one's going to miss it. Moving on to the customization page, we have character customizer. And this is one of the biggest appeals of MK11. And it's the best customization MK's ever had. Still is, because MK12 really botched it. You have like 15 gear pieces for a single piece of gear in MK12, and there's like 3 versions of the same piece of gear, so there's like multiple reskins. This game has like an extra reskin for fingers. It doesn't have 2 extra ones. Yeah, it's just a downgrade. I don't think that's a hot take. Like fundamentally, it's a lesser version. And you can't make variations, so you have to keep going back to that menu to change your skin and stuff. By the way, there's only 3 skins in that game for the average character, and you can't unlock most of them. Rough game, like I said, but yeah. And I'm not sure what the icon for this is. I like all like the artwork for like the menu icons. I think the menu looks pretty good in this game. I don't know why there's like it looks like smoke is on the character menu. I mean, it's probably just meant to be like a generic ninja, but it's weird. But yeah, when you open a page, you get to select a character from the roster. And when you're on that menu, you also get to see how much you unlock for stuff, and you can see it on this when you select a character as well. So when you pick a character, you get to see the variations, you get to see your abilities, the gear you've equipped, the AI stats and stuff. You pick your variation and you get to customize it. You can even change name and you can change icons. There's 3 sets of icons, 1 for each color. There's a lot, which I think is neat. It's a nice little touch. I like messing around with picking the right icon. Problem is they're very tedious to unlock. I don't think I'm really a bother, but you're not completing these. You are absolutely not getting all these icons. But you select them, you have a gear page, you have a cosmetics page, you have an abilities page, and you have an AI behavior page. So yeah, you can see like how many goddess crowns I have, etc. on out of 36, out of 34. It does not list DLC stuff. That stuff will be unlisted until you own it. And that also counts for stuff like any of like the item shop exclusive skins that you can't get as like a DLC pack, but they still work the same way. For example, Eternal Clash Frost. That's not listed. I tend to get every Frost skin, but I don't have the Eternal Clash ones, but they don't show up in my page thing. So yeah, that's the thing. You have these little tokens you can spend to like upgrade the rarity of your gear piece, which each level, because it's free, you will get a augment slot. And there's a lot to it. I'm not really going to get in depth into it because there's so much to cover, and honestly, it's not that important. Well, it is. It's important for Towers of Time, especially in the late game. It helps a ton. Especially with those co-op towers I mentioned. You get just a good defense build, and it will probably take a while, but you can pretty much get through all of them, regardless of how good your teammate is or not. Yeah, I'm promised you need to get matched up with a teammate for one of the co-op towers, which I don't know why. It literally makes it harder. It makes it harder because of the live system, and you share the lives. So I guess that's why. But yeah, there's various types of organs do different things and stuff. Soul, for example, soul organs, getting bonus currency and stuff. The order ones here, this is for like defense stuff. The chaos ones are for like elemental powers and shit. You've got like the Never Flame augment that's like offense stuff. You get like damage buffs and stuff. There's the blood augments, which what do they do? I think they just do various things. They're like very specific stuff. Like you can do oh yeah, that's one. Easy crushing blows. That's a fun one. So there's a lot to it. And of course there's Jinsei augments, which are quite crazy, because they change the properties of your special moves. You can get really overpowered ones at level 4. There's a lot to this system, and it has grown on me, because it's something I, and I'm sure many others, felt is a pointless feature. It's not worth looking into. On the Xbox save, I haven't touched a single augment. And also, it took them a year to even add the Jinsei augments. It just said coming soon for the third thing. And Jinsei augments really make the builds quite strong. I don't have a crazy strong build or anything, but I have what I need to do, like towers and stuff. But yeah, you can get like really OP stuff, like you can one-shot people and lucky blows and stuff. You've got like one where there's like a set percentage chance that goes up depending on your level. That increases the chance of doing an attack, and it counts as a brutality. So you can just do a brutality in the middle of the match. There's some genuinely cool stuff with the augments, I think. I think it adds a lot to Towers of Time when you get into it. And you get a lot of augments. Getting level 4 stuff is tricky. But you get a lot of them. And you just mess around with them, right? You can try and find the best like build for your character to be most efficient. You'll want them to help you with like tricky towers and stuff. I think they applied to the gauntlet. That's probably how I completed the gauntlet, because I learned how to use augments. They just help out a lot, and they're quite fun. To just make your character really overpowered, it's just fun. Like my Frost, I have like a Frost AI build that's just a tank. She's got like 3,750 health or some shit, and like one of the augments I had reduced her movement speed, and she can't jump, but she gets like a shitload of health as a result. So there's a bunch of stuff. I can't cover it all here. It probably required dedicated video. But I kind of like him. I kind of like the augments now. It feels weird admitting that, but now I've been using them, I think they're neat. I think they're relatively harmless. They help a lot with Towers of Time. They make the grind easier. So I really don't think there's much issue. You could argue it's adding a grind in of it itself to get the augments themselves. And that's kind of true. To get certain things you want for the most optimal AI build. But I wouldn't worry about that. Just get a build that's good. There's lots of guys, just fun. But you can be loose about it, you know? Either way, the augments are going to help you out, regardless of what you pick. So yeah, overall, I think they're neat. They're nothing too crazy, but they're cool, I think, and they add a bit more depth to Towers of Time. You also, there's a whole tab to manage your augments as well, and that just shows you all of them. You can sell them and stuff for little money. You get a bunch of coins anyway. I don't think anyone does that, but yeah, there's a lot to it. But yeah, cosmetics tab, you get to pick your skin. You get to select your cinematics, so your intros and outros. You can toggle them on and off. I usually just have them all on, just because variety. If you have multiple on, basically it just randomizes it. Obviously, I'm skipping intros normally anyway, but like on like the round 1 fight thing before you get into action, depending on the intro you have, they'll have a different animation getting ready to fight. So there's still that, even if you skip intros. So they're cool regardless. The outros are a lot. You're going to see them a lot more, of course. I think it's cool. I don't think they need to do this much effort. You know, like 8 of these per character. That is quite impressive, and there's a lot of very cool cinematic stuff. Probably most iconic one is the rain one, where like he does his classic like trilogy stance, which is just a reptile stance, but it goes to him now, and like purple lightning like strikes down behind him. There's some real cool images you can get off of him, so I like it. MK12 Rumia is again another major setback from that game. Well, not major, but it's just a shame. Again, not something that was necessary, but when it exists and they did it so well in this game, it's kind of an expectation. You can also see your finishers, and there's an actual number. And I think that might help a lot of you, because I didn't realize there was a number tied to it. Because on the actual select screen menu on the customization tab, it'll say like your stats was up, but for brutalities and taunts, it'll say whatever number you have out of question mark, question mark, question mark. If you go here, you can see the exact number. However, it is wrong for, well, it's not wrong, but you can't complete the number for Shao, Frost, and Gears because they each have a taunt that is in the files. It is in the game itself, not just the files. It is literally in the game. It's just there's no unlock requirements for it. So it counts towards completion, but you can't get it. There is no way without hacks and mods to enable it. So that's a shame. You can see the friendship here. You can see fatalities, you can see the brutalists, and the taunts are at the bottom. You can't select what taunts you want, which is weird, because I feel like you'd probably want to toggle some of those on and off based on same reason for the cinematics, right? The intros and outros. MK12 actually improved this. You could toggle them on and off, surprisingly. That was one of the bigger missions. Again, not a big deal, especially as someone who would just have them all turned on anyway. Usually I don't like all the animations. I just like that variety. But yeah, that is not an option, and I don't know why. Then you have your abilities. These are your creative variation special moves. You have 3 slots. Most abilities will take up 1. Some will take up 2. And there's one specific one that takes up 3, and that's Shang Tsung's Ninja Mastery. Or is it Shapeshift Mastery? It's the one where you get all 4 ninja moves, which they added because people wanted that. That move's not good anyway, because you lose out on Corpse Drop, a very good projectile, and Soul Steal, and you're trading that for one of the ninja moves. So that's more just like to fuck around with than being an actual good pick. But yeah, certain things are too but it's just because they're too strong. I disagree with some of the moves they chose to take up 2 slots, because I don't think they're that strong. And you know, Citron herself has that, where she has like, there's 4 elemental rings she has. You can also have one that will randomize which one she gets, and like has it surround her, and you can like summon whatever you gathered to attack the player. Maybe I don't understand the move, but it's not that useful. It's cool, but it's not useful. Whereas the geyser I have equipped for, that one makes sense as two slots, because you can amplify it to extend combos. It has a crushing blow that pops up. You can do it at various ranges. That is a very strong move. That makes sense to be 2 bars. So I like having, you know, the 2 slots for a move. That makes sense. But there are certain ones where I feel you didn't have to do that for them. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm just missing someone with the moves I think that's the case for. It's not a big deal regardless. I like this. I'm a big variations fan. It's nowhere on the level of like fighting styles or, you know, old mechanics like that. But I do think it's good. I do think it adds that variety, variations, variety. This is much less in depth than MKX, because MKX would basically change like half your move set depending on your variation. It would change a whole lot. Like your whole special move kit is depending on your variation. Whereas here, you just have your base move set, and you just add a couple extra moves, maybe 3. Again, depends on how it slots. Not all of them are extra special moves. There's some that are like extend combos, some that will add like grapple strings to regular strings. So there's stuff that can just improve your combo strings. There's quite a lot, actually. I know there's several characters and stuff like that. Jax, Jade, Nightwolf, Kano probably, Shao Kahn. Actually, no, I don't think Shao has that. No, I don't think Shao does. But yeah, there's a lot. And yeah, while it's not as in depth, it is just picking some moves, and many will just see certain moves as not useful at all. You know, certain characters will just use one variation for because it's the optimal one. But a lot of it's subjective still. There's a lot of good moves, there's a lot of good options for most of the roster. There's certain moves that even I have to admit are pretty useless, but they're still cool. They're still a lot of fun. It's just I wouldn't take it to, ranked. And it's just, I know obviously certain move pairings can be better than others. But yeah, I really like this. And I do prefer 10kx, it's probably less effort in this one. And that's just because it's less intrusive. It's a lot less intrusive than X, where it was like, holy shit, my entire moveset's changed because of a different variation. And a part of my look's been changed as variation. Whereas here, it's just, oh no, here's your moveset. Would you like to add a couple extra moves to that? And I think that's cool. You get that variety without it, like, just completely fucking with the movesets. You keep all the core moves. And I think that's just a much better way to do it. Even if there's probably less effort to it. Then here's where you modify the AI behavior for Taz of Time, AI Fighter, and there's even like presets and stuff. You have 60 points, you scale them to what you want. I think, again, this is a good system. There's just not much of a good use for the AI thing, other than AI farming, which isn't fun, and that's not playing the game. Again, I feel like if you could fight your own AI, that would be much, much more engaging. And that would make stuff like the local verse much more of an interesting option to pick, because the AI, the regular AI, is quite dull, as I've said. Next, got a collection, which I like, little collector looking at whatever that is. I don't know what half the backgrounds are in this game, but it looks cool. This is very much like the extras menu and the 3D era MKs. It's a lot less to this one, though. I think it's organised quite well. You have stuff separated by like endings, the forge recipes, the soundtrack. And then you have concept art, and it's separated by character, environment, and story. A problem, however, is you can't even unlock all the concept art. Again, it's stuff in the game. You can unlock it with a mod, but you can't actually unlock it in game, which is so weird because they're just random crypt unlocks. And I'm pretty sure I have every one I can unlock, because I've opened thousands of chests in the crypt, and I still can't get these ones. So either the unlock runs are so bullshit, or you just can't get them. And I'm pretty sure it's a latter, because I don't know anyone who has this complete thing without modding it, which is dumb, like really fucking stupid. Why can't you unlock all the concept art? Again, it's annoying stuff like that. It's probably my biggest issue with this game, even though it's mostly small stuff like this. It's just the fact that you can't get everything. Like, the grind is one thing, but the fact that stuff is just impossible to get for no logical reason, it's just a massive piss take when you're spending all this time unlocking stuff just to learn, oh, you can't actually unlock all this. Like, it's daft. It really is. The environment thing is fine. I have everything I want there. But the story, the props, there are 8 that you can't unlock. It's super weird. I really don't have anything to add. I think showing the console art it's always cool to see. A place where you can always rewatch the endings once you unlock them. That's always good. the music, soundtrack section. That's good to have. It does what you'd want. It's just you can't watch some things. And well, the recipe thing is dog shit. The only useful recipe is the one for the Amulet of Shinnok, which actually tells you the full recipe. Everything else, and I mean everything else, will list 2 out of the 3 items you need and leave the 3rd item blank. You can unlock all the recipes, but they're useless. Just look up a guide, because these aren't helpful at all. And this is probably, they probably did this to think so that certain players would have a much longer, more meaningful grind. I would say experience, but it's still a grind. With the Forge, they'd use it more because they'd be trying different recipes, which cost currency to use. Like even if it's a completely wrong recipe you've entered and you get nothing, you still spent a lot on it, which is quite daft. I like the idea of the Forge having like hidden things you unlock with recipes. I don't think it's done that well though. And recipe thing, again, completely useless. If you're not going to tell the 3rd item, then you're still just like randomly trying to figure out what else goes to it. There's no clues or anything. Maybe they had done like a puzzle thing where it hints to which item you need to mix together. That'd be cooler. The one thing I will say is at least shows like the stuff you can unlock. The recipes itself, again, useless. But this does compile all the gear that is unlocked in the Forge, so you can tell which ones you're missing. On the other tab, there's of course practice mode. There's probably practice mode at its best. It has the most options and stuff. You can record stuff. You can say how to do certain things. I think NKX are the same stuff. But yeah, it's just pretty much perfect at this point in practice mode. And of course you can pin moves in this game. Can't MK12. But yeah, you know what to say, it's the practice mode. It's very important to Mortal Kombat. It's very important to fighting games in general. And MK has a pretty good one that has constantly been evolving. I don't think practice mode has ever downgraded. Ever since it was introduced, it's just been getting better and better. Until MK12, because MK12 doesn't let you pin moves, which isn't practice mode specific, but that's very important for practicing, because you get to see the inputs on your screen. So yeah, I had no complaints with practice mode. It's pretty good. You'll spend a lot of time there to learn the game, of course. It does its job. The tutorial is quite in-depth, and I think that's both a good and a bad thing. I'll get into why. So you have all this, you have to, I completed it all. And you have the basic tutorial, advanced stuff, you have, strategy, fucking offense, defense, frame data, and a body of character lessons. The character lessons, you do a lesson for characters, you get a skin palette for them. And that's nice. And I like it as an option, but it pales in comparison to stuff like the combo challenges and MK's DC or MK12 even, although MK12's combo challenges don't work. So, yeah. It also pales in comparison to Daylight's Interception Conquest training, which it's basically this, because how it works is it'll just give you an input, whether that be a combo. It's many special moves. It doesn't go into the whole moveset. And you just do it. And that's the same as DA Interception. Except DA Interception were much more in depth than that. It was more than 8 moves. So I'd say pretty pointless. I don't think those lessons help, because you can just go to practice, see the moves, pin the moves, and then try them out yourself. The character lessons do not help you. They give you a move on the screen. They don't tell you combos you can come up with, which is what makes MK's DC controls, as hot as they are, they're actually more helpful at learning the game, because it tells you a combo you can try. And even if you're fucking up the combo, you're working towards a combo and you're learning like how to juggle and stuff. So yeah, character lessons pretty pointless. The rest of the tutorial goes a lot in depth. You have like a preview thing. It covers basically everything. And it's quite impressive how in depth it is. And again, this definitely contributes to how I'd say MK11 is the best MK to play to get into MK in the sense of learning how to actually play the game. You're not just button mashing and stuff. Like Jane, if you're an MK fan, right, and you like the games, but you're like, I don't understand how you get better and play this game, because I play like MKX, you know, random local matches. Could not learn that game. For like the year I had it, and I was pretty regularly playing it. MK11 drops, and straight away I'm learning stuff. Like day one, I'm learning stuff. It takes a while to learn any fighting game, of course, but this is very beginner friendly. That doesn't mean the game is easy. Absolutely not. There's a lot of depth to it, but it's a very good starting point. And when you learn this game, at least from my experience, you can then apply that knowledge to any MK game. Of course, MK is a franchise that changes a lot, right? So the game's going to play differently, but when you understand how to play one game, it becomes a lot easier to learn other ones. You know, so like once I learned this game, I went back to MKX. I quickly understood how to play MKX. Not very well, but I understood it. MK9, I went to see if it's actually a good game. Now I understand it, and not really. Same thing, MKX. I think those games become less fun when you understand how to play games. MK11 not the case, I don't think. I imagine MK12 also not the case. I reckon the characters probably quite fun there because you have the cameo pairings. And of course the 3D era. The 3D era, I got Deception, was the next game I bought after MK11, and I really quickly understood that one. I don't know if I hadn't played MK11 before, if I'd quickly understand Deception. I do wonder that, because it also has good tutorial stuff. It has a good manual that tells you everything. So I don't know, maybe both of those are good starting points. The Data Alliance, Deception, MK11, probably good starting points, I'd say. But yeah, you cover everything, and it does get really in depth though. You know, there is stuff like the frame data stuff, and you learn stuff like force blocking, and that's like frame perfect blocks. And there's like a whole section on doing that. It's really hard. It's genuinely really hard. It is something I never do on the Xbox save. It's something I save till last on Switch, because the tutorial is the hardest part of the game. And that's not really a knock. I just find that amusing. And also you unlock Shao Kahn's announcer voice doing this. You also get time crystals. So it's a good incentive to learn it, you know. Friday, I don't care for. You know, I have 1,000 hours on this game. Well, not thousands. Nearly 2,000 now. And I don't think you need to learn frame data. I really don't. If you're going to be playing a lot of Kombat League, I really don't think you do. For most players, that is. Just the more you play, the more experience you'll get, the more you'll learn what is safe, what can be punished. It just takes experience. And I think it's a better experience learning the game by just getting the experience. You know, learn how to play a character, right? Don't even worry about, you know, the fucking frame data stuff. That's for later. You have the resources to learn it if you really want to, but it's not necessary, in my opinion. I'm probably not someone to give guidance on it, but it's just from my personal opinion. So yeah, that about covers the tutorial. And lastly, we have fatality practice. A mode I don't care about. I've never used it. I don't think many do. This is only more for casual players, maybe even content creators, in the sense that, like, oh, let's do a video looking at all the fatalities. You can just go here and do it, right? I think it's a cool thing to have. Again, it's pretty harmless. It's just not that important. It is just, here's a finish from screen, and here's a tutorial that'll tell you the range you need to be in to do fatality input. Sure. Again, a very casual thing. Well, the thing I can't remember a single fatality input in this game, so maybe I do need to go to fatality practice, because I just use the easy fatality token, which are very easy to get. MKX is like a limited supply you get, and I think at least, and then you have to buy the rest. In this game, you just get so many. I have hundreds, so whenever I do need a fatality, a toxic player, you hold the right trigger and you press a button, and you do a fatality. That's the fatality inputs to me, which I like that. I know people seem to have an issue with these fatality turns. I don't think there's a charm in the input when we're at the point where, and this is not a knock on the fact they do this now. I think it's better that they list it, but they list the fatality inputs. So it's not like you're entering a secret code or anything. So I don't think it has that charm. So yeah, I just use these fatality tokens. Fair enough if you don't, but I'd rather have them than not. I myself don't even care about fatalities that much. So maybe it's just me. Maybe fatality training is more important to us than me. I'm not going to say it's a bad thing to have. Like don't get rid of it. There's no reason to get rid of it. It's helpful for those who want to learn the fatalities. So yeah, I definitely don't mind it. And that covers all the modes. So we're going to look at the roster. I'm going to last one. I'm going to look at the roster for the characters and the stages. Then we'll talk about the gameplay. Not too in depth. I'll just give my general opinions about aspects of the gameplay. Maybe I should have a story section. But regardless, the roster. I have to go through each character. Overall, this is a roster I think is fine, and that's more in the sake of quantity. 37 characters, you have variation customization. I think there's a lot there. There's a lot of depth. There's a lot of variety. And the roster does feel incomplete. I mean, look at the select screen. Right? I noticed this, and my girlfriend tried pointing it out, is the select screen, it started off as like an hourglass shape, and that was actually quite cool. I think the select screen initially looked very cool. I don't like the generic grey portraits in the background. I don't know why they don't have unique ones anymore. I guess that's effort. That's the only thing I can really knock. I like how it had its own unique shape. As DLC got added, it became more of a block, right? And so you have these rows of 6, and the top row is 4. That's still an even number, so that doesn't really look that bad. Then there's the bottom row. But I mean, if you look at like the outline, it's quite dark because it's very dimly lit. But you can see it's like the base of the hourglass, which is thinner than the top of the hourglass, and the top of the hourglass has a curve. So I guess that's why there's 2 slots missing at the top. So it kind of still has the shape of an hourglass. Like, you can reach for that. If that helps you guys sleep at night, the fact that this is an uneven roster, then go ahead. It feels incomplete just looking at the bottom row. And again, the context of Kombat Pack 2, I don't know if it was COVID, I don't know what exactly, but I feel like there's meant to be more. And I think it's a shame that I didn't get more. Despite my many issues with like adding the writing is in this game, and for a time, because of that, I was like, don't add more characters. I don't want to see them get ruined in this game. I think I'm over that now, especially when this isn't the latest game, so a lot of us you can look past. It doesn't really change my opinion really, but it does make looking past issues a bit easier, I suppose, because we've got a new set of issues now with MK12. So yeah, at this point I do feel it's a shame. I think we should have got a full 42 characters, at least like a 38th character, Throwing Crypt guy, throwing anyone. I really don't mind. The game doesn't need more characters. There's plenty here, and I know most do not play the whole roster, especially not when it's this big. This is the second biggest roster in the franchise, by Armageddon, and nothing's topping Armageddon. So yeah, I think it's an impressive amount. It's 5 more characters than the previous 2 entries. 9 and X, both are 32 characters. X is a smaller base roster, but had more DLC. this game has the same base roster as X, but instead of like packs of 4, we had a pack of 6 and 2 packs of 3, so 12. And yeah, it does feel like could have got the full Kombat pack. That would have. I mean, the theory I always had, and I'm sure many of us did, was they'll do a full Kombat pack too, right? And then for the top 2 corners, they will just do the ketchup and mustard duo pack, which was a big rumor going around. And it just made sense because they literally promised, oh, there's no NPCs. Sector and Cyrax, very popular characters. Everyone wanted them. And no, they just didn't get added. Robocop got added with his shitty bootleg Cyber Ninja costumes, which, I mean, I guess is better than nothing, I guess. It just feels like there's a lot of missed opportunities there. I think this roster would be near perfect if it had gotten those extra characters. Those... Well, we have 37, so you need 5 more to get that full 42 rectangle. It's not just the shape. It's just the fact that it's so convenient. You could have had that complete Kombat pack too with the 6 characters. Then you could have just had Sector and Cyrax. Probably pay DLC and not a free update, but regardless, I think at this point, like for this game, a $5 for a DLC character, very much worth it with customization, although you have to unlock stuff. Customization, the abilities, just the depth of the movesets and stuff, all the dialogue. I think it's probably worth it. Of course, again, there's the problem of how much DLC costs when you're buying everything. When it comes out, if you're being a loyal fan, you're getting punished. So, when it comes to that, I kind of do like that they start with the DLC. Because, you know, I'm in that boat, and I feel bad for those who had to buy everything separate. But again, this game got some more support. It's not good. I think the roster is pretty damn good. It's just... Sector and Cyrax, glaringly absent when they were NPCs in the story. Pretty cool default designs. The helmets are a bit weird, the masks, but that's the thing. Imagine you were in the game and you've got to customize the helmets. You know, customize the sword blade, customize flamethrower, customize pulse blades. I imagine pulse blades would have came back if they got to be on the roster, which are the little lightsabers they had. Because this game brought back a lot of weapons. So I feel like one of them, probably Sector. I think it probably fits Sector better. You probably could have had the pulse blades, and then Cyrax like has his sword blade stuff. So yeah, I big waste opportunity there, because I think when you're thinking about the creative variation stuff, you would have got a hell of a lot out of having the cyborgs. You really would have, and they're already in the story. So it's not even like, well, I don't want to see him get ruined in this game. Like, no, they're in the fucking story anyway. And Cyrax, yeah, would be good if he got to come back. Because the whole thing is, like, he fucking kills himself a second time. And sometimes just lets him do it. Like, you could have just had this DLC as like, oh no, the special forces have to repair whatever, and he's fine. And yeah, you could have just done that. I was a side tangent there, but I think that was the first thing to cover, what's missing. And beyond that is 3D characters. This is the main issue with the roster. You have a near perfect original trilogy section, like outside of Sector and Cyrax being missing. There's really nothing else that I think you need. You can make an argument for Striker and Smoke. They're the missing revenants. And they were also characters who weren't in the last game. But you don't need all of them. You don't. But I get making a case for them. But I think it's fine. I'm missing this game. But yeah, we need more 3D characters. Because there's only one. There is Frost. And I fucking love Frost. We'll get to her. But only one. And she's not a very faithful one at all. She's now the cyborg character. But she's still very different to the other, to like the classic cyborgs. So it's not like they like wouldn't. It's not like they'd repeat each other or anything. You could have Cyber Sub-Zero and he plays very differently to Cyberfrost. So, yeah, I don't think it was that. But I guess they thought, oh, if we have Frost, then that covers the cyborg rep. But sure, but she's not as popular as Sector or Cyrax. And I'm glad you have that variety, but it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't make sense to have, like if you're picking two characters not to be NPCs, why would you pick Sector and Cyrax? Sector's relatively important. Cyrax is with the heroes for a bit. And he probably would have stuck with that if he wasn't an NPC. So, yeah, I feel like you could have just picked two other less important characters who were in the last game. No, I guess not Kano, because he was supposed to still seem as a main threat. But yeah, I just wasted that. And so, yeah, ideally, I would have said throw in 3 more 3-year characters from Sector Cyrus. If we had an actual Kombat Pack 2, and then we got a Catch from this pack, we're only actually missing out on Sector Cyrax and like 1 extra character and then a couple guests, because for some reason they want to have half the Kombat Packs be guests, which surprised even me back in the day I thought it would be 4 MK characters, 2 guests. I think that would have been a good way to do it. 3's a bit much as someone who does not care about them. But yeah, even then, like, 1 character could have gone a long way. Even if it was like Tanya, I know she was in the previous game, but MK4 reps, you've got Fujin, another big return, a very standout one. It's not like your 1 3DR character and MK4 rep in this game is Kenshi and Quan Chi, like 2 very boring standard picks were in most games. It's Frost and Fujin, who are 2 very standout characters, to their credit. It's just, there's not more. There's just not more of them. Outside that, there is only the NRS newcomers, and classic newcomers, and of course guest characters. And because they put all their focus in the classic and NRS trilogy of characters, I think you get the best of both worlds for the most part. Again, Second Sight's the only glaring omission. That, of course, certain characters I like from both eras, like Kung Jin and Takia. I think they should have won this game over, 2 of the parent figures. You don't need Johnny, Sonya, and Jax in this game. You really didn't. Actually not. They should have carried on with the Combat Kids stuff. Instead of having just 2, I'm going to pick Jackie as 1 or 2 though, because she's one of these popular ones, but she's very cool. So I'm glad she got this opportunity. Because she's very cool in this game. Bit of a shame about Takeda, and definitely Kung Jin, who really just get the short end of the stick, because he had like no focus in the comics. He has the first chapter of the Combat Kids in the X story mode. So yeah, he really does the least, which is a shame because I think he's quite interesting. Could have had him instead of Kung Lao. Again, Kung Lao doesn't feel central. He really does not. So there's stuff like that, but I feel like the mainstays especially clog up this roster, and it's the 3rd game in a row. The 5th for some. Obviously everyone is in Armageddon. MK vs. DC had all of them except like Johnny, in terms of the mainstays. And by mainstays I'm referring to like the 7 playable characters from Mortal Kombat 1, the 1992 one, not the 2023 one. And then Jax, Katana, and Kung Lao. And Melina joined it. This game is trying to break away from that. And then people demanded for it. And they caved in, which is a shame. Melina doesn't add too much to this roster, I don't feel. I'll take her. I like Melina. I like Rain, but yeah, those 2 weren't essential. I think those weren't necessary picks. Again, I'll take like the extra 3 characters from Kombat Pack 2, but yeah, it does feel like they dropped the ball hard by that point. I suppose the benefit of the fact that you had those 2 packs, Aftermath and Kombat Pack 2, instead of just Kombat Pack 2 plus a story expansion with it, is that it meant we got an extra MK character over a guest character. Because they were odd numbers, you had 2 MK characters, 1 guest. So we got a bonus MK character, I guess, by that logic. So I'll take it, I suppose. But yeah, the main is at this point, big problem. I'm letting Kentucky Summer break. Jax wouldn't have been one I picked to give a break because he is a stellar character in each of his appearances. He's one who's always managed to stay fresh. I very much like Jax. Like in this game, he has like these. Like when you punch stuff, he also have a move where like he punches his fists together. It charges up heat on his metal arms. It makes him do more damage, and it gives him like his like classic like fire projectile thing. He can use that when he's got like his fists heated up. And if he gets his fists fully heated up, he gets like a bunch of crushing blows with like some. That's a grapple impact. I don't know if I'd count as a grapple, but like you can equip this ability where he does these overhead punches, and then if it connects, then like he puts your head on his knee and he just starts punching the fuck out of the back of your head. It is brutal. And also he has a throw. One of his throws, he has a sleeper hold, which I think does a lot of damage. You've got like the heated arms. And he's just got you in a sleeper choke with these metal fucking boiling arms. But this is one where like he elbows, he drops his fucking elbow on like the back of your neck. Like fucking awesome moveset. Awesome character. Jax is fucking great. And he was weird, like his weird present self story thing, where like, oh, his fucking off-screen wife is dead. Oh no, because Jax needs more trauma, apparently. So he joins Chronica, and they actually do some interesting stuff with it. To be fair, it's just that it's just how we got to that point. It was very bad story, but this actually I've story to death. So yeah, I like Jax. So like of the three parent characters, I probably kept Jax because he has his own thing going on anyway. You know, he's been discharged anyway. Like you can keep that, I guess. I'm not gonna rewrite it. You know, because if I was rewriting it, then this whole roster would be completely different. But like Sonya, Johnny, you don't need them. Their past selves are obnoxious. Sonya's present self fucking dies. Present Johnny disappears after his own chapter. Never seen again, not even in Aftermath. Like, they're not important. And I feel you can have games without them. I'm not certain about Johnny at this point because incels love him. And good for you guys. But he's fucking boring. He is really boring. He's fun in this game. His moveset's fucking cool. His dialogue in general is just really annoying in this game. Because instead of focusing on the mature Johnny, they brought in past Johnny to do all the jokes. And really overshadow that. But yeah, he's got so many skins in this game as well. One of them is blackface, which is weird. That like werewolf skin, where his skin's just painted brown. Highly questionable skin, but he does have a lot of quantity to skins. He's got like 90-something palettes. It's fucking insane. They really like sucking off Johnny. They really do. I think he has the most skins in the new game as well. He's got like 5, and that's like, might be 6 actually. I don't know. Yeah, it would be 6. It's just you can't get his story mode costume where he's got like the weird like ninja suit on. I don't think you can unlock that. Because of course, MK12. So yeah, he's quite fun in this game. He has a lot of like silly little gadgets. Again, a character benefits a lot from very stuff. He has like a yellow energy thing that uses in place of his brass knuckles ability from MKX. He pulls out a camera and like flashes you to stun you and shit. He has like he throws his glasses at you that can do a crushing blow. He breaks your skull with his glasses. Just a whole bunch of stuff. Stunt double, very fun. I wish we could customize the stunt double. I guess he's not customizable just because he's only in like 2 moves. But like, give me like a mocap skin for him. I'd fuck with that. But yeah, the stunt double's pretty fun. You could like summon him in. You could like grab your opponent. He can run in and do a fucking clothesline from hell sometimes. Like, his moveset's a lot of fun. I don't play him much, but yeah, there's a lot of fun we had there. Also, the Mime Time taunt, that's fucking lit. Like, they went all on the Ninja Mime thing, and it works here. The joke is well dead, but this game, he has, like, a funny mime taunt, where he's, like, miming pulling a rope, and, like, he hits, like, an invisible wall, like, in his round wind taunt. That's funny. And he also has a parry where he's doing, like, he's mime, like, being trapped in a box. You hear him when he's doing it. He throws you over his head, like, the dude's fucking strong. And, like, and he can pop you up and stuff. That's fun. He's just not essential. I don't care for him much. So yeah, I probably would trade Sonya and Johnny for the other Kombat kids. I know they're very, very mixed received, but I think more people positive and negative, especially with how much focus they got. I don't like dropping these main protagonist ideas. Like Shijinko and Taven, where the fuck are they? You know? They were great. They were great characters, but just got ignored because, it's a new era, we can ignore them now. That's quite a shame. It would be kind of weird to not have Kenshi, because the problem is Takia and Kenshi stuff sets up like Red Dragon stuff, but you already know they're not using the Red Dragons, so that's not going anywhere. Not in the games, at least. In the comics, sure, but the comics got cancelled. So yeah, it's strange. That's one thing. So there's like certain picks I don't agree with. I think just fit in more 3-hour characters. I don't know who replaced Sissy. I mean, if in an ideal world, you could have traded all 5 of the guest characters for 5 3D characters, and that'd be cool. Again, in a perfect world, you'd have much more than 6 3D characters, right? Because I think they're on the level. I think most of them I prefer to the original Trinity characters. So, like, personally, I'd have it be a half and half. Because I think the classic trilogy has 33 characters. MK4 plus the 3D era trilogy, that's 31. So there should be pretty much an even split there, I feel. The NRS newcomers, that's all over the place, because not only is there actual literal newcomers in this game, but then you have like Scarlet from MK9 DLC. That's a good character to bring back. Give her a base roster spotlight, actually characterize her. Her new lore fucking sucks, but she's awesome in this game in terms of design, moveset, the fact that she's in the game. I think that's a great pick. That's a very standout one, even though it's a recent character. Because most ain't getting to play her. You know? Most just aren't. So I think he's good. I think the MKX, like, newcomers that they chose to keep around, I think those are good picks. Aaron, I think, is overrated, but he's a very popular character, at the time at least. It's kind of fell off because what is there to do with Aaron? Like, there's no reason to have 3 games in a row. And there's no real reason to have him in this one, but his moveset's good. I say that for every character. Everyone's movesets are pretty damn good. The names that annoying, like Terminator, Robocop, and Rambo, funnily enough. Robocop's just annoying as owner. Terminator has like that annoying Terminator ability. They're just annoying rather than poorly designed. Which makes me dislike the guests even more. But yeah, I think outside of like Aaron, I pick here. The 3 newcomers I like. I think that's a hard take. I mean, Garrus aside, Garrus is quite popular, especially since in the new game, which I'm glad he's in. But Collector, again, a completely unnecessary character, but he's really fucking cool. He's got a bunch of cool abilities, a bunch of cool moves. He does so much stuff. I really like Collector. Cetron too. Wasted character, absolutely, in story. Collector, I wouldn't even say he's a wasted. I mean, he makes sense to be a jobber, and they gave him some interesting lore. He has some creepy intro dialogue, but that's about it. I think people just... Their expectations were too high for a character called the Collector, because that sounds like a big deal. I remember there's that whole theory where he's like the Chaos Realm God, which I don't know where that fucking came from, but people thought he was a big deal, not just a tax man for Shao Kahn. So, yeah. I think he's a cool character, though. Cetrion as well. I like the idea of, like Shinnok's sibling and how she, like, mirrors him. That's cool. Shinnok himself isn't in the game, though, so you can't really show off that parallel properly, which is a bit annoying, but sure. And yeah, like, there's some returns to an NKX, like Cabal, much requested. I don't know why they retconned him. I don't know why they made him a villain. It's annoying. The Black Dragon in this game, it has 3 characters and shouldn't even be around. Kano was imprisoned. Eren is retconned into the Black Dragon. Cabal's retconned so that he is a Black Dragon at the time of MK2. It's just a mess. It is well and truly a mess. That could have been a Red Dragon trio. You know, Suha, Vado, they won. Right? They could have given them a chance, and you got to have Taki and Kenshi in the roster replacing, I don't know, whoever. And then you could do their story. You know, you could just do something more interesting. Jarek, bring him back, make him the leader. Because Jarek, his Armageddon self, you don't need to change Jarek, because his Armageddon self gave him two completely new designs, 2 awesome designs, I'd say. They gave him like an axe. They gave him like lasso focused abilities. He doesn't have like any Kano moves in that game. He's completely unique. If they just put that in a modern game with of course a smaller roster, so he stands out more, people would turn around on him real quick. I feel like if you present anyone else as the leader of Black Dragon, people would go, "Oh, they're calling Kano," because Kano's lame. Kano's really fucking lame, and that's not a hot take. And I get people like him. I like his movesets and stuff. He's a fun grappler character, right? I think design's alright, depending on which one. His default in this game, not good. But yeah, he really needed a break. He was literally written off in the previous game. So he really needed a break at this point. So I just had Jarek overtaking because he's always been like the second in command guy. Then you could... There's many options there because there's so many Black Dragon characters. You can bring back Tremor from NKX, a well-received DLC character. You can bring back, I don't know, Cobra and Kira, this time in the tutelage of Jarek instead of Cabal. You could bring the debut of Tassia and No Face, giving them their chance that Tremor got in the last game. There's so many options because there's a fucking shitload of Black Dragon characters for no reason, and they only use Kano, who's the lamest one. So that does annoy me. Cabal and Eren, I like. Cabal's my second most played character in this game. His moveset's awesome. I like Eren's moveset in this game. I liked his moveset in X. Eren actually has a good design in this game. It's just Cabal and Eren got retconned to be really boring characters. So that's a shame. But yeah, most of my issues with these characters come from a story standpoint. Because Kano, I think has good design, he has good customization, he's got a great moveset. But it's Kano. Like, go away, Kano. Give someone else the slot, man. Ko, a character I fucking despise, but his moveset's pretty damn cool. You can summon the totems and shit. You can turn into a panther for some fucking reason. Not a panther, a jaguar. He's got a bunch of crazy powers for no reason. Devora's moveset's fucking awesome. I was learning it recently. She's got so many cool little abilities and stuff. And Devora makes sense being in this roster because MKX made her a big deal. She does nothing in her story except she is just a random jobber. Then she happens to kill Scorpion in a sneak attack. Which takes like 10 long seconds, and past Scorpion just watches and he takes action after she's killed him, which is weird. But yeah, on paper it makes sense to keep her around, regardless of what people think of her. She's overhated. She is so overhated, by the way, because like you'll hear, because she killed their favorite characters, Baraka and Melina, 2 characters who are in this game anyway. And also both of those kills were from the order of Kotal, so shouldn't you be hating Kotal? It's just weird. It is so weird. Like she is not written well in a story at all, right? It's cool she gets the focus, she gets her own chapter, but she's not well written. I don't know, it's a hot take. Her lore's solid. Like, the species is fucking awesome. I like the chitin stuff. But, yeah, she's just like the new gen classic Tanya. Like when she was a traitor in the Midway Tunnel. She's just that. So, yeah, not interesting. But it's not enough to just go, oh, this character fucking sucks. People really reacted. If she hadn't killed anyone, people would not really mind her role in the story. They'd probably fucking like it, knowing MK fans, because if a character gets any focus or if they get a chapter, people are like, oh, fucking round of applause. This character got a chapter, so by default, they're good. It's like because it happens so rarely, if a character gets a character arc, I have Lee May on my mind right now, because Lee May's fucking terribly written in MK12. She pales in comparison to the original Lee May. But she gets an arc where she fixes her friendship with the toxic tyrant Sin Dao. Wow, yeah, what a great moment. She abused her for how long, and she has an authorized group of priestesses who abduct little girls to indoctrinate them into their group. It's bad. It's really bad. Can I digress? Another big return, Baraka. And Baraka's also a game. I think this is the best Baraka overall. I don't know which one's my favourite gameplay. Definitely not MK12 Baraka. His moveset, his gameplay looks so boring. And it looks so simple. I don't know if that's just because of the Baraka Cyrax thing, which seems annoying, but just generally, he looks like he lacks depth. Anger has all the customization moves and stuff. He's very fun to play. And you've got a lot of different playstyles you can take. I like his war banner. That's another cool touch. And Baraka with all the customizations is really cool. This is definitely his best... I would say his best design, but it's like the best he's looked at. I mean, it's just graphically he looks very good. And having all the customization, he's just his customization is pretty great. But I don't like a specific design. I'd probably like either DC Baraka or Deception Baraka, either costume. Baraka's just so consistently good that I don't really have a favourite. This game gave him some character development, which is good. And then people have seen and forgotten he got development in this game. And MK12 gave him character development. And they also had the Tarkat disease lore was necessary for that. MK11 literally proved it wasn't. 12 does more with him, but 11 doesn't have the stupid fucking lore. So I still think 11 Baraka is the best he's been written. Noob, another big return. He was like the Melina of MKX. Everyone wanted him. Problem is, they cleared it. The Brighters clearly didn't want him because he does fuck all. The explanation for his return is, Quan Chi's creations don't die easily. That's not an explanation, noob. Sub-Zero hates Bihan because Bihan's evil, apparently. Nice retcon, guys. Shao Kahn, very big return. Not since Echoes of DC, because he's unplayable in MK9 because stupid boss. And his redesign's kind of annoying. To a lesser sense MK12, but they completely changed how he looks. Gave him these dragon features, and inexplicably so. They didn't explain it. But I would say he looks cool. He still looks cool. I actually think the dragon details look cool. I just wouldn't give him that. His face looks fucked up, but it's a callback to his face in comics and Shaolin monks and stuff. It's not exactly like that, but it's on the lines, so I kind of appreciate that. Basically, it's better than the guy with the horns. That's what I say, and it's still Shao Kahn. They dumbed him down, although MK9 did that first, but this one's really noticeable because he gets intro dialogue and horrible. He says he says some fucking devious things, to say the least. But his customization is awesome. He has like a more classic-esque design. It still doesn't feel like true classic Shao because his physical design looks so different, but it works. I like his classic has like a different shade of red to the actual classic skin he has, or the equivalent of a classic skin, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, he has good customization. He has his spear back. He has the wrap armor. He's got basically everything you'd want from him. Except for, I think they should have thrown him some like special moves he has in Deception, Armageddon. Give him some telekinesis. There's no telekinesis character in this game. I mean, I guess Shang Tsung has the Ermac Slam. So yeah, you don't know, like Armageddon Shang Tsung has like telekinesis move because it's soul magic, right? I guess I assume. Because for some reason they don't incorporate this into Shao's moveset, right? His moveset's awesome in this game, but it also contributes to the problem where it just kind of doesn't think about like Shao's soul magic stuff. Like, where's his projectile shield? And MKSCC would like reflect projectiles and stuff. The uplifting shield, like that was cool. That would have been a great ability. Especially there's a lot of moves like that that reflects like Nightwolf's Reflector. It's basically like that. Anti-zoning stuff, which Shao probably needs because he's so close. Maybe not make him too strong, but that's one move that's always been on my mind. I get why we wouldn't have like stuff like the uplifting knee, just because you get similar purpose to the shoulder barge, and the shoulder barge pops you up anyway, so it wouldn't even be like, oh, but if you equip the uplifting knee, it does a pop up, because you amplified the shoulder charge and it just punches you into the air anyway. I feel like the amplify should just be the upward shoulder charge. It wasn't Enkinus's DC. That's a weird thing. He only does the upward shoulder barge and like his fatal blow. But overall, he's good. I just think he's missing certain classic stuff. His looks a bit weird, but I like him. And again, he's a stand-up character because he's not playable often. He's really not. He's playable like 3 games in a row: Deception, Armageddon, and CC. Then he's gone for a decade. And now he's in 2 games in a row again, except now he's General Shao, so doesn't have the same presence. This Shao Kahn still has the presence of Shao Kahn, despite the fact that he's so badly written. Frost is my main, the only 3-year character. She's cool. I think the Sire idea is unnecessary for the character. I think it's neat, aesthetically at least. I still want like Daylight Frost looks cooler anyway though. And the most popular skin is one that looks semi-human. So the Sire experiment definitely didn't work. She does some cool stuff though. Like she has a lot of moves that like she just takes her head off and stuff. She has microburst, which is essentially this game's version of like Sub-Zero's. I can't remember what it's called. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. The chiller move or whatever, the one where like he like vibrates and like some ice or surrounds him, and that can freeze the opponent. Very cool move. Daylight, so they got rid of the game after. It's what Cameo Sub-Zero has actually. He has that, which I think is quite a neat touch. Frost essentially has that. It's called microburst here though, but your amplifier does a freeze. It is just like that Daylight Sub-Zero move. So it's weird how they kept that. And not any of Frost's actual Deadly Alliance moves. She doesn't have like Crown Freeze. Probably because it'd be annoying in a 2D game, so I don't mind that. I mean, like Cameo Frost has proven that it'd be annoying in a 2D game. So yeah, I think a move that's fun. It does a lot of stuff that focuses on like stuff that only her as a cyborg would do. But just generally have ice power stuff, a lot of ice power stuff. No classic special moves, but it's still Frost because it's still doing Cryomancer stuff, right? So I think she's one character who can get away with not having any classic specials. But yeah, I understand why people would be upset about missing that. But yeah, I like customization. I like a cyber look. Again, from a Ryan standpoint, not a good move. It's not. Human Frost is better. And also, like, yeah, this is nothing to elevate a character, because she's one of the 3 characters who, her story is fucking terrible. Well, day one, she's good. She's good in like a conquest mode. Then at ending, she just betrayed Sub-Zero, and then they made that canon, and it's just been downhill for her since. Very one-dimensional, bland character. And Bihan's just her, but edgier. So, MK12 Bihan, that is. Because Bihan used to be a very complex anti-hero character. Too complex for stupid MK fans to understand, apparently, because he's always evil. How much of this roster talk has been me ranting about other rosters and shit? Raiden gets his staff back, that's another thing. Liu Kang gets his nunchucks back. Sindel gets the Kwandao back. Like 3DO weapons like that. Coming back and stuff. That's all fine and dandy. Fujin gets his MK4 crossbow. That's cool. Well, it's not a plasma crossbow, but it's a crossbow. So I'll give him that. And a plasma crossbow, I have a regular crossbow. Probably makes more sense. Because he uses like the wind to control the arrows and stuff. That's cool. Fujin's very awesome. He's difficult to learn, and I'm not that good at him, even though I play a lot of matches with him. But he's very fun. He has a lot of cool powers and stuff. Fun character. Shiva, also very fun Shogun character. It has everything really. Has like her old fireball, has the stomp, of course. Has some like cool grapple stuff, like this air grab, which Omni-Man just has in MK12. They just copy-pasted that for him. I really like shooting this game. My problem with Shiva is like the customization. Not even just like gear. She got some cool gear, like you can select like different hairstyles, give her a mohawk, give her a helmet, customize her shield, customize her gauntlet bracer things. But her costumes, and they're not even that bad. I like her default arm one. It's just they have very dull colours, which I think is a shame. She has like a red and gold one, kind of Armageddon-esque, but like it's very dull. If it was a brighter colour like Armageddon, it'd be an awesome skin. That's about my issue with Shiva. I'm sort of writing. Again, that's a whole other thing, how the characters were written. Something that's annoying to fight, like Jade and stuff. Zoners will just naturally be like keep away characters and whatnot. They can just be annoying. Some players are just annoying generally, right? And I don't really know that because they're all fun to play, I'd say. Our characters and others. I probably see like 10 characters. I've tried them all, but there's like 10 that I need to learn a lot of. This is a ton of depth here. Someone who's played maybe 2,000 hours, right? So again, we probably don't need more characters. But yeah, the roster does feel like it's lacking certain names. A bit of missed potential. But, you know, I like most MK characters. And I think because of it has the best lineup of like the NRS trilogy characters. So you have Scarlet from MK9. You have two of the Kombat kids. You have the MK11 newcomers, of course. You have like Devora, Aaron Kotal, who I could take or leave, but sure. They had some stand-up stuff here. The guest characters. I'm not a big guest fan, so I won't read up on them much. This is only the best guest character selection. I don't think that's changing. I think it has better picks, just generally characters I like more personally. I won't say any of them really fit. The Joker makes sense because MK is DC. However, Injustice, DC has its own fighting game by NRS. So, and you can say the same for the MK guest characters in Injustice. It's like, why? Why would you do this? I'm just going to play Injustice if I want to play as Joker. But he's Joker has history with MK, so it's kind of neat. He's also the best characterized DC character in MK's DC, so I don't mind the pick. He's very fun to play as. Him and Spawn. Spawn I like just because, not because he fits. I think people say he fits are absolutely wrong, Hell Spawn guy, that makes him fit less. Because the Neverrealm is such a specific lore that you have this guy from a typical depiction of Hell in the sense that their Hell's just seen as pure evil. So when you have this anti-hero go, I'm going to purge the Neverrealm, it's like, well, you're an asshole because there's good people down there. Because it has like native demons and stuff. And they're not inherently evil. Like Ashra, Serena, there's plenty of examples, right? So yeah, not a good look for him. But he's got a cool design. He's got cool gameplay stuff. I like the costume where he looks like meat. So I could just pretend he is like a very crazy revamp of meat. And so he's my favorite guest character for that. RoboCop, Rambo, Terminator, I like a lot less. Because they're annoying to fight against. I kind of use this a lot less. I haven't done not as well. I don't really like any of the designs. Terminator and Rambo are just people. They are just men. Like Terminator, like you have like their moves are good. I just from like a design standpoint, they just come across as dudes, right? RoboCop, he has a stupid design anyway. You can customize the helmet though, but they're all pretty silly. The classic cyber helmet he has looks nothing like it. It is Sector and Cyrax at home. So I'll take these characters. I can have fun playing as them. But yeah, I would absolutely take literally anything over them, really. And as guest picks are better, like a horror character and whatnot, for sure. But I don't really care regardless. Again, it just makes me think, these three especially could have gone to Sector Cyrax. You know, RoboCop especially, he's very annoying in the sense that, like, yeah, we have a cop car in MK, we have cyborgs in MK, but none of them on the fucking roster. So it's just like, okay, why'd you add this guy and not one of the actual cyborgs or cop characters we have? Very silly. Very silly. Cabal's not in a cop anymore, so who are they interacting with? You know? I don't know what Terminator's deal is. I don't know. He's like evil in this. I'm not a Terminator guy. I always thought the Terminator was like a good guy. He does a good thing in his ending, which is narrated by Cassie for some reason. I don't fucking... It's a mess. By the way, I didn't mention endings, because again, I'm not really looking at the story stuff, other than me just saying it's bad. I don't think that's a hot take. I don't think I want to get into why, because there's so much I could critique. But the endings are bad, for the simple fact that they're all AUs of what would I do if I had the hourglass. It is essentially just the same as Armageddon, where it was, oh, what would I do if I had Blaze of Power? I don't give a fuck what you do if you have Blaze of Power, because you're Kano, you're never getting that. Right? Like, it's just not interesting to me at all. And it makes all the ends repetitive and whatnot, so yeah. Anything else I want to touch on? Really, again, I go with each individual character, but I think a lot of it repetitive. It's like how I think this character's fun. They're a bit of a samey pick, but they're fun in this game. They have standout designs. They have stuff in this game to make each character stand out. So yeah, over the roster, it's fine, and I'd say good if we're looking at just gameplay. What this offers is 37 very unique characters with a lot of customization and a lot of ability variety. If we're breaking down the character picks, what it is writing characters, like you've got various species and stuff, you've got 5 guest characters, you've got a lot of stuff here. But in terms of like era representation, you represented 2 of the 3 trilogies well, but you've completely neglected the 3D one, which is just unfortunate. Something that's kind of being fixed now, although the problem is now every character's getting retconned, so the characters people have been waiting nearly 2 decades for are nothing like the characters they were waiting for. So it's just a disappointment. Like MK12 Havoc, massive downgrade. I think everyone agrees on that. This Frost is a downgrade, for sure. Although I can't really even say from like a story standpoint, because it's just more because they fucked up Frost's character by making the Dayline's ending canon in the first place. So this has kind of been Frost's character. It's in character for Frost. It's just she's a bad character from a writing standpoint. We are the Frost, so you know, there are characters stand out here. But yeah, this is not a crazy roster. It's my favorite NRS roster. But again, I feel like my favorite NRS roster is just down to which one has the most characters. It's quite similar to that, because they do not do the variety, if I care for the 3 characters. But yeah, I think this one is just my favorite like selection, like classic characters and the NRS characters. So that helps a lot. Has my favourite guests, even though I don't really care for them. And of course, there's only two, but Fusion and Frost are very cool. You know, that's more standout than like Kenshi and Quan Chi, right? Yeah. I think I made that point earlier. So yeah, I think I'm repeating myself now. So yeah, I think there's a lot of missed opportunities with this roster. But I don't think it's bad. I think there's a lot of copium people saying MK9 is a better roster. Like, no, it's not. MKX, sure, I can get that. I probably would agree with that at a time, but now I prefer this one. Just because you get 5 more characters. It is genuinely as simple as that. Stage selection. I won't talk much about this because I've got a tier list series with my friend CDR, and we'll get to this game. This is the best stage selection of the NRS games. Because NKX was terrible. NKX has some stage interactables, so they weren't just backgrounds like an MK9. However, there was like 8 stages or whatever. They're all really bland generic locations. You know, you had like a snow forest, you had just a desert marketplace, you had just a generic like Neverrealm area. Just boring locations in a dull game. This has much more interesting locations and much better variety, and just a lot more in general. You know, how many have we got actually? We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm only going to count the hourglasses as 1. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So we got 23. The hourglasses, 3 variants. Which is a good amount. I'm pretty sure even like Deception still has more, but like we're more in the line of what I'd expect of a stage selection, like over 20 at least. You have that variety. And again, this one has interactables. And they're more important than NKX because, I mean, it's a great variety, but, you know, you have stuff like ones that do crushing blows. So they have a great impact. But there's like a lot of specific stuff. Like Chronica's Keep has like a time crystal on a rock that you throw. And if it hits and it does the Garrus freeze effect. That's a really cool one. Liu Kang's like Dragon Sword you can find in the Dragon Grotto. Like you can just pull it out if you crouch by it. Like there's a lot of cool interactable stuff. The Deadpool, you can dunk acid on people. The Special Forces Desert kind of throw someone into a cactus. The Cyberlink Assembly, you could grab Cyrax's sword. You can grab a smoke bomb, a Cyber Sub-Zero ice bomb, a smoke bomb. There's a lot of really cool stuff with the interactables. Of course, pales in comparison to what a free era offered, but I like what's here. I really do. The backgrounds in general, just quite cool. There's a lot of good locations there, a lot more stand out. Like the Sea of Blood's cool. Car and Ship has a good background. There's a lot more detail and stuff. And there's just a lot more variety. There's a lot more unique areas. Retro Cave's a fun idea. The tournament one's a bit stupid. Like, it's got so much Neverrealm marketing, it's weird. You have the arcades of, like, certain games, which they just took gameplay from YouTube, like the Deception cabinets, like, from Mr. G-Star's fucking Deception playthrough. For some reason, it's like Boraicho versus Noob Smoke on Yin Yang Island. And that's more a distraction than anything, because, like, I'm playing this game, and I see in the background, there's Deception playing. I'm like, damn, I could be playing that right now. You know, it's a stage that changed, like, colours, depending on, like, certain fighting game competition event stuff. And I don't care about that, but, like, different colours is cool. You can't select them anymore now, though. So that gimmick doesn't even matter. And it's one of the stages that has interactables, but they're like holograms, which MKX would do with the Special Forces training room, which was like a holodeck, which is weird. I kind of like it though. The tournament stage, it doesn't make sense. And also you can tell the crowd, because like they're basically like silhouettes at the front of the screen, which is quite clever, but you can tell they're just the Special Forces guys, because they're wearing like army jackets. The Hourglass also has hologram stuff for all 3 of them. They don't have unique interactables. Retro has unique interactables because it's set in an arcade, and in the background it's like a projector projecting the various classic stages. I can't know all of them. It doesn't have that many. It has like the portal, the Shang Tsung's Island, the throne room. The Colosseum's another one, which the Colosseum and Shang Tsung's Island. In this game, they're very different. It's Kotal's Colosseum now. And it has like a time effect, like between Kotal's version of Colosseum and Shell's. Which is it's not really done too well. It's not like, very important at least. It's a very minute detail. And on Switch it's not rendered very well. But I get what they were going for. But yeah, there's a lot of interactables. There's a lot of variety in the stages. I think each one stands out. I think there's some not so interesting areas, like the Colosseum Beast Pen, which is like, the neatest thing about that is you guys see like some crazy like owl mutant stuff in the background, which is sort of interesting, but it doesn't really feel like owl. It's more like just random fictional mythical beasts and stuff. It's weird and kind of gross at stages. It connects to the Colosseum because you see like a platform that goes up to the Colosseum where the beasts go. That makes sense. It's as you think though, you could have had stage transitions in this game that go between the stages, so that would have justified it more, I feel. But yeah, overall, I think this fight section, the soundtrack isn't memorable. The Retrospective is good because it actually retains the classic themes. It doesn't do a shitty remix like MK9. So that's cool. There's something I kind of like. The Hourglass is good. The Black Market Alley, another pretty generic location to be fair, but I think the music's pretty good. It has some like fucking Japanese singing for some reason at one point. I don't know why. I like it though. The bars, you need to adjust your settings to be able to hear the bar music. That's no reason why it's so memorable, because it's so quiet. It really is. I had to turn everything down and turn the music up in the settings. Yeah, save section. It's again the 3D arrow so much better, but that's naturally going to be the case with 2D. Here, I think they did a pretty good job with 2 stages. There's room for improvement. And MK12 just decided, we're getting rid of interactables again. So we're back to square one, the backgrounds again, fuck's sake. So this is definitely the best like 2D stage selection, I'd say. Actually, no, trilogy, because it has so many stages and it has stage transitions. But besides the MK3 and later variants, I think this one's pretty good. But yeah, wait on to this video to get more specific thoughts on the stages. Talking about gameplay, I've talked about variations, and I talk about mechanics, and training stuff like frame rate, flawless blocking, which is brain power blocking. I like that, because it means you don't take chip damage. That's kind of neat, that's a neat reward. Something that's so awkward with it is you can actually wake up attacks off it, which wake up attacks are, you get knocked down, you can wake up attack. You can have one that's just like a standard strike, that's like a mid strike, or you can have one that goes high, but you can be punished if they avoid or block it. So that one's more dangerous. But if you're in like the corner and they like jump to try and avoid like your get up attack when you do like a mid block, they can just jump over it. So you need to think out which one you're using. And you also have rolls, which have grown on me as a mechanic. I like having, obviously a 3D mechanic with rolling around on the floor. It helps to get out of corners, helps to switch sides and stuff. That feature's definitely grown on me. And all this comes from the defense and offense meter. They're separate meters now. You get 2 bars of each. They fill up on their own. People don't like this. I don't think anything is a meter system, period. But I think this is the best way of doing it. Much better than a 3-bar system. I think I'm in the minority there. But I think it's a good way of doing it. And it refilling on its own, that I know people seem to prefer like, earning your meter. But refilling, it's just better for the system because you have separate meters and stuff. And of course, it's not like you get a breaker. You have breakaways now, where you break from the combo. You have armor, which armor is in this game essentially where you don't react to getting hit. You can be hit and you can take damage, but you don't react. And then you just drop to the floor. So you can still take a hit when you're breakaway. It's not like the regular breakers where you just push them back and you're completely safe. It is a more nerfed version. My own criticism is like the input, because it's like down and RT, which you can accidentally do quite a bit. Although I don't know what I'd substitute out with. But yeah, that does happen. But also you can break through the arm and the breakaways, so you can punish it. So yeah, the bar fills up on its own, but it's not. It's like an overpowered defense. If you just have a bunch of defense options, I think that's OP. But yeah. And offense to me, it's just for amplifying stuff and whatnot, which makes sense. Amplifying moves is a cool thing in us introduced. So yeah, I like the meter system. Flawless blocking, I like. I don't think it should do wake ups though. And because it's like frame perfect, it's not even like it's overpowered, because most I'm gonna learn a frame perfect block everything, but I've seen like a handful of people have. It's just impossible to fight him, really. It creates a big gap there, but it's not really a big deal because most don't do that because that's so hard to do. So I suppose if you learn that, you deserve it, but I feel it's just necessary altogether. What else? People complain the gameplay's too slow. Again, my favorite games are the 3D ones, which are also like a more slower pace. You don't have like a run mechanic. Well, except on KOS, you don't have a run mechanic. You're focusing on more stuff than just combos. You know, strings, mix-ups, kind of pokes. Less focus on special moves and stuff. And this game is quite similar. Again, there's a lot of things the 3D does, but in 2D. And that might be why I like it so much. It's definitely flawed, but the gameplay, I never really knocked. I've always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed it a lot more than 9X's style, especially. So, yeah, I always liked it. I'm going to keep playing it until someone's die. You know, multiple years. Like, of course, I took a break. That's because I stopped playing my Xbox. And then I got it again. I remembered how much I do enjoy the gameplay. I liked all the variety, and the characters, and all the variation stuff. And I like crushing blows as a mechanic. I think it's a very good mechanic. Because it makes you trying. What am I saying? English. It makes sure you're trying to achieve certain requirements, and some requirements are quite fun. Others are just like, oh, hit this move amplified 3 times. Sub-Zero slide is the most notable example, because everyone's gonna do 3 slides in a fucking match. So every Sub-Zero player in a match is very likely to just get an easy 30%. Like that one's, it's not even that overpowered, it's just annoying. So some kinds of like throw requirements, a lot of them are just, oh, if you failed to escape a throw, because when you get put in a throw, you could press one of the face buttons, and it's basically a 50-50 chance. Because it's a forward throw, you need to press certain 2 buttons. If it's a back throw, you need to press the other 2 buttons. And you don't know which one's which. There's no indication, so you just guess. And you can just get punished with 30%, taking 30% damage if they do another throw, because you failed the escape. And that's the requirement for a lot of them. Scorpion players abuse this. So a lot of time you don't even want to escape throw for a lot of characters because of that requirement. That one's a bad one. But other than that, I like my seal requirements, and I think it's a pretty balanced feature. It makes the game balanced. Again, it's the most balanced MK by a landslide. Because the damage scaling, you're not doing bullshit like 50% and higher damage combos. The combo potential is still there. People make a whole lot of bullshit about the combo potential in this game. There is a lot of combo potential in this game. It's just the combo damage is not as impressive as previous games. And that's because you have stuff like crushing blows, which is where you get the real big damage. It separates that. It creates separation from just a regular 50-50 combo. And you've done 50%, funnily enough. Which is what MK12 is. MK12 is so brain dead easy. Because there's no extra strategy. It is just mix up, get them in a combo. And if you're in a combo, then you're going to have to wait 20 seconds for it to end. And you just get a cameo. You repeat that combo extension ability twice. You do the most optimal string with it twice. You just repeat that. Like, it's not fun, and it's same as the combat potential. You know, like Enkin is not just about the combos. And again, this game still has the combos, just not stupid damage. From those characters, like Shao Kahn, you can get like 50% corner combos and stuff. Like certain characters, you can do it pretty normally, but yeah, it's going to take certain requirements. It's going to take a lot of meter and stuff. It's going to take crushing blows and stuff to do it typically, as it should, because that's half the fucking life bar. So it should be hard to achieve. Again, it just makes the game balance. So I like it. It doesn't feel slow in a boring sense. You know, I don't agree with that. I much prefer to MKS where like the run button is stupid. I think it's a really dumb mechanic. It's fun, I'll give it that, but for competitive play, I'm not interested in it at all. I really am not. I know people don't like the footsies game, which is just like doing low posts, trying to get control. But that's just kind of the thing with 3D fighters. Not 3D, 2D. 3D you can sidestep and stuff, right? Not here. So it's kind of thing. Because do people must have not played NetX Online a while, because that's just the thing with NRS games in general. More so in this one, sure, but again, it's just more stuff to think about. So I like it. I really like to see everything's game. Again, I have my issues, but most of it is not with the gameplay. So that probably ramps it up, you know. I think I have like all the main aspects generally. We talk about all the modes, we talk about settings and stuff, we talk about DLC, roster, stage selection. We've covered a lot there. For my final thoughts, really, it's just a game I like. It is undeniably so. I cannot just get so many hours in the game, even hundreds of them probably from AI farming times at the time. I can't get that many hours and then just say, no, this game's fucking bad. Because no, and you know, the game will fucking annoy me. Not even for gameplay reasons. Like, again, it's usually storage stuff or various other stuff like DLC price. I mean, just general scumminess. I'd be like, yeah, this game's fucking annoying for that. But at this point, the final release, I'm still playing it to this day. It's only 5 years old. And my complaints really are the story stuff. That always was the thing. I think the writing is atrocious. Intro is really bad. The most effort went into intro for this game, because unlike Injustice and Kiss, it's not repeating lines and stuff. As I've seen Injustice 2 intro, it is so dog shit. Half the intros don't make sense, because they just throw together what lines they want, and it makes no sense. You know, like Harley Quinn, like half her intro dialogue, she'll say, I was hoping you'd say that. She says that every fucking time. Like, Jesus Christ. At least this time, like, the only repeat dialogue is for Sonya against the free Kombat 2 characters. I think that's literally it. Because Ronda Rousey's a fucking bitch and did not come back. Stop hiring celebrity voice actors. NRS, fucking stop it. It's probably a WB thing, isn't it? It's probably not an NRS thing. Definitely a Warner Bros. Move, no doubt. But yeah, it's annoying. It's like everyone gets like unique dialogue and stuff. It's just the dialogue is poorly written. Not everything against the actors. I think the voice direction process for them. But outside of Roman, there's not a bad actor. It's just I vouch for a lot of them, and having certain voices fit and whatnot. Like the new voice, that's fucking stupid. I thought it was cool at first. Like, Jesus Christ. I was saying that I was 14 and Kingdom came out, so that's probably why. Or edgelord 14-year-old. But yeah, my issue was writing. The grind, even though a lot was sort of it. But it's just the fact that stuff's just impossible to get. It is a big thing. If everything was technically obtainable, that'd be cool. And the third issue is just, it's always online. And that's something you can't really change. That's just how you structure the game. But for the longevity of the franchise, this game's going to die. This isn't going to get shut down. And this is really going to be playable. Because you can't even customize variation and stuff. I checked the other day, and if you play offline, Your variations are saved, but the last ones you saved, you cannot modify from that point onwards. You keep your DLC characters. Now, I remember there was a time where if you lost connection, then your DLC characters were not available. I believe you can use classic towers. You can't use Tower of Time. You can't do the crypt because you can't unlock anything. You also can't do online. It's pretty barren in a server shutdown. Again, basically unplayable. Like, yeah, it's technically playable, but you can't do most of the content because they made everything require an internet connection. And it's a shame. MK12 does the same thing. So you're really putting a franchise situation here for the future of it. I'm sure this game has many years left because, I mean, MKX servers are still up. 9s, I think, are down, but X's are definitely up. And X's, it's over 8 years old now, so this has like at least 3 years to go. No doubt more. Probably until the end of the decade. Probably longer even. But the servers do have to go down at some point. And that's quite unfortunate. I'd probably be ready for the game to go by that point. But I do think it's sad because again, I genuinely enjoy this game. And just in general, it was a piece of shit game, right? I don't want History of MK to just be unavailable. That's just a piss take. As someone who goes back to, like, you know, emulate the old MK games, like check them all out and stuff. Like, it's very important to preserve this stuff. So making stuff like online based is a terrible move. Again, this is not a live service game. This is not a free to play game. This is a full price fighting game with unlocks that aren't online, most of it. But you're still requiring internet connection because they made it time based and they want to make sure you get your rewards legitimately. It's stupid. It really is. Outside of those three main issues, I really have like small problem with this game. Overall, I genuinely do like it. I think there's missed opportunity, sure, but this is easily the best NRS game in my mind. From the MK side, I might get Injustice 1. But I don't know if I was going to compare them, per se. Like this, just in general, like, probably favourite 2D MK game for sure. I just think it is leagues ahead of the other 2D fighters in MK's history. Personally, I really find the minority there. But I do just like the style. And maybe it is because it kind of does do a lot of the 3D I did, just its own way. I don't know. But yeah, I've many complaints with this game. Other people do. And most of them are valid, but I will not knock the gameplay of this game. I won't knock the customization. Again, customization has some missed opportunities. But overall, it's the best it's ever been in the franchise. So I can't like it's bad. I really can't. So yeah, overall, I'm very mixed on it. If I gave a rating out of 10, I don't even know where it would go because there is some stuff in this game that pisses me off to ends greater than like any other game, right? And then there's other stuff that's just like, this is one of my most played games of all time, right? So I don't even know how it rank overall. But essentially, when I was saying this video, I mentioned the stuff I like, I mentioned the stuff I dislike, the stuff that's kind of mixed bag. And so was that. Overall, I enjoyed the game. That's the game's purpose. So yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know if you want other retrospectives on MK games or games in general, because I did want to put the Smash vs. Raw 2008 game. So I'm gonna do some other ones. There's some I'm just not interested in doing. I've done mythologies, and Inquisitor DC, and I've done. This is the longest one to do, I'm pretty sure, because there's a lot to talk about, and I didn't even get too deep into the story, which is the worst part, no doubt. I want to do a retrospective on the new game, especially when the whole point of retrospective is it's got to be an older thing, it's got to be complete. I don't care about MK12 to do that anyway. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.